Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the latest and greatest PUBG Mobile VIP Showmatch. Today we have the Metro Uprising for you. My name is VIP Powerbang, and I'm so happy to be here tonight to bring you guys the action. And let's get the official stuff out of the way first and foremost. If you haven't downloaded PUBG Mobile yet, what are you doing? Download it. You can find the links in the description of the stream and join us out here on the battlegrounds for some Metro Royale action. And obviously, if you haven't followed PUBG Mobile yet on social media, definitely do so, because events like this one are happening all the time. PUBG Mobile is the best to do it. You can follow them everywhere on socials at PUBG Mobile. So we'll definitely see you there. Get latest and greatest news updates, events, all that kind of good stuff. But I'm not alone here tonight, guys. We have an amazing Metro Royale expert, a VIP. DabPlays joining us tonight. Dab, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, Powerbang. Thanks for asking. I'm so excited to be here because we are going to see some sweaty Metro Royale action tonight. We've got 6 teams. They're fully decked out, level 6, MK14s, P90s, and I don't think there's ever gonna be or has been more sweatier Metro Royale action on an official event. So I'm really excited for tonight.
I couldn't agree more, my friend. We're going to talk about that in just a moment, but you already kind of alluded to it. The format for tonight, we have 6 teams that are joining us here. They're comprised of a variety of different players, but most notably, each team has an esports pro joining them that will be captaining the squad, and they're joined by obviously 3 PUBG Mobile VIPs that form out each 4-man squad. So that's going to be super, super exciting. We're playing 5 matches tonight. The map lineup is on your screen, starting off here on Arctic Base, probably one of the best maps in Metro Royale. Should be some good action there. And then obviously we've got the tried and true Zombie Uprising appearing twice in the lineup tonight. We're going to see Misty Port there for that 3rd match, and then we'll wrap it up tonight with the Old Blockade. And the way the scoring works, guys, it's all about that loot. We're trying to extract with the most loot value possible, and then for each elim these teams will secure tonight, it's an additional 100,000 Metro cash added to their loot value. So that's super exciting stuff. Again, very excited to see how this all kind of plays out. We'll come back to that in just a moment, but Dab, walk us through the teams, my friend. Tell us a little bit about who, you got your eye on here tonight. We've got the Tunnel Tirade, Zombie Zenith, Metro Masters, Arctic Allies, Misty Mayhem, and Blockade Brigade.
Okay, so I have one of my very good friends, T-Mags, is on the Zombie Zenith team, so I have really high hopes that he's going to take everything that I taught him and lead his team to victory. Also, Dr. Chemist plays Metro Royale pretty regularly, so the Tunnel Tirade definitely has a good, strong hand in that because he knows what he's doing for sure. And then we also have some Metro Royale OGs. On Misty Mayhem, you've got Valak. Valak has been playing since Season 1. I remember playing with him way back in the day. And then Wancho on the Arctic Allies. He's definitely pretty seasoned, so he knows what he's doing.
That's great news for these teams to have the esports pros that are captaining them actually with some Metro Royale experience. And obviously, if you've got your money on Zombie Zenith, they're going to have an opportunity to take away a significant prize pool that we have in store for our participants tonight. You can see on screen, we've got $7,500 in the prize pool tonight. Cool thing is that every single player that is participating tonight is walking away with at least $100. But depending on their placement, depending on how their team performs, they could be walking away with significantly more than that, Dab.
Yeah, it's nice how that everybody's walking away with something tonight.
100%. So let's talk a little bit about some of the new updates, obviously in Metro Royale. The biggest one to me is that PUBG Mobile has just announced in the past couple of weeks that they're taking this game mode, Metro Royale, bigger, right? This is going to be a big focus for them. We've got official Metro esports that are going to be coming in 2025, and I am super excited for that personally. It's a different look at the Metro Royale game mode. How do you think that the extraction shooter is going to translate kind of into that competitive gameplay? I guess we'll get a sneak peek here tonight.
The way I've seen it happen is, at least in my custom rooms on my live streams, is everybody kind of just tries to be the last team alive. And depending on how you have it formatted, obviously this one's got loot plus eliminations. But we could be seeing esports where it's like the last team alive or the last team alive with the most loot. So it's going to be really interesting. I'm really excited and kind of curious to see how it's all going to play out as well.
Absolutely. We've got the teams loaded up tonight with an amazing level 6 loadout. We've got a couple of really beastly guns. We've got the MK14 as well as the P90 that these guys are going to be jumping into the lobbies with. And that should be the same each and every match tonight. Matches 1 through 5, essentially, all these teams will be dropping in. Pretty kitted out. Talk to me about the difference of what that makes heading into a match, looking at somebody wearing level 6 gear versus kind of a newer player where, you know, you got that level 1 and 2 stuff.
Level 6 gear takes about an extra 20 or 30 bullets almost to take out versus somebody when you only have level 1 gear on, level 2 gear even, you're only 1 or 2 bullets away from going back to the lobby. In Metro Royale, you have weapons that are different than the classic weapons. Say, for instance, a refined MK14 does 30% more weapon damage than just a regular MK14. So when a player has a refined weapon, they're just way more powerful. And then when you add on the bullets, there's corroded bullets all the way to high explosive bullets. Corroded bullets having no extra added weapon damage or bullet damage. And then with the high explosives, you have 30% again more damage to the bullet itself. So when you are rocking everything the best that you could possibly get, you're going to be doing 60% more damage minimum, more than the opponent that's wearing level 1, level 2, and just having like regular basic repaired weapons with corroded ammo.
That's super useful information to know. I'm kind of forecasting some raid bosses out there tonight. These guys are going to be able to absorb a lot more damage like you're talking about. Yeah. First map that's coming up here is the Arctic base. Again, Dab, I know that's one that you were looking forward to. It's, you know, one with the radiation zone. We've got a lot of action on this map, and it's been, you know, here for a bit now, maybe half a year. I think it was launched in January of 2024. Talk to us a little bit about what we can expect to see on Arctic base.
So Arctic base is your biggest Metro Royale map to date. You have the biggest radiation zone in the middle as well. And in the radiation zone, you have a boss. Outside of the radiation zone, you have 3 different bosses. They're kind of about pretty fairly spread across the map. And then at the 19-minute mark, there also is the potential of a tank boss spawning that drops a guaranteed gold pile. And keep in mind, if they get a gold pile, that's 500,000 points just straight to the total. So Metro Royale with the Arctic base is probably the craziest and most, I would say, in-game way to play Metro Royale.
That's insane. You can see the return countdown on the center of your screen there, 29:55. And Dab, you mentioned the 19-minute mark is what we're going to keep our eye on to see if that tank does spawn. It's not guaranteed, maybe a 1 in 5 chance or so. I don't know the exact numbers, but, you know, let's not say it's rare, but uncommon for it to spawn. So if it does, we're going to see a lot of loot on the table here for these teams to go after. We get a good view early on of our map. And talk to me a little bit about the spawn points, Dab. I know they're randomized, but does where you spawn in on the map give you any sort of intel as kind of a team, like, you know, kill shot spawning in the northwest here? You know, do they know where they need to go at this point?
Everybody should pretty much know that you need to get out to radiation to get the most loot, but everybody spawns pretty evenly around the edge of the map, and there is the chance, like you're seeing right now, where we have 2 teams fighting. There's a possibility where a team spawns right outside of the radiation, but it doesn't look like that happened this time.
Amazing.
And Sheaf on putting some shots down.
The in-game little leaderboard there on the right-hand side will give us a great opportunity to actually preview loot and see how things are going. And obviously for Zombie Zenith, they're not off to a banging start so far. They've got quite the negative score, perhaps dropping some loot here early on.
Yeah, a lot of Metro Royale players they tend to boost up when they're still in the blue circle, but it looks like Fate just popped his first boost of the match. Now, in Metro Royale, the team with high ground, just like in Classics, always has the upper hand here. So it's going to be interesting to see how Team 5 and Team 6 kind of play this out.
Absolutely. We've got Fate here, eyeing the horizon here. And again, the MK14, absolutely lethal, has been the meta for quite some time now. You've got at least maybe half the player base rocking this thing these days, if not more. And the automatic fire on this, you know, in a traditional PUBG Mobile game mode, if you're looking at Air and Go, you know, Miramar, etc., this is going to shred through somebody. But you can see how many shots right there. Baton gets absolutely lit up by Fate, but still has over half of his HP. Incredible stuff right here on the defense, and it looks like Dr. Timus is going to have to get K back into the fight.
Oh, nades out. That almost took out Fox 1K. If that was just a little bit closer, he would have been a goner. Fate's got an excellent position up there on top of that roof.
Beautiful nade there into from distance. Fate's got that timing down pat. And he's got good eyes here, great angles like you're talking about. Ventura on the back end flank there, trying to get an angle, and it looks like it's able to connect. Fate goes down, and Bella Fox is going to have to play the role of hero.
Yeah, this is not looking good for the Zombie Zenith. And they go out. Now, the interesting thing is, as you can see over on the right, it is negative 2.6 million in earnings right now. So the zombies.
My count, Dab. That's probably not good, huh?
Yeah, I mean, that's
for positive numbers.
I mean, to be honest, 2.6 million is like one player's profit if they actually had made it out with loot. So they could probably remake that back next match. Pretty easy.
Absolutely. Well, struggles early for the Zombie Zenith. They are out there. You see the tombstones kind of indicating their status, but also the Blockade Brigade off to a great start. 3 million already in hand. And they are continuing to roll here. You can see some fights going on with some of the bandits that are out there, taking down these...
Yeah, they're taking out the Arctic Commander right there. Is the boss in the radiation zone, and he looks like he may have dropped a red password, or black password. When you see the red, that's how you know it dropped like a mythic-style item. It could have possibly have been a vest or a helmet, but it probably... That boss guarantees to drop a password letter, whether it be yellow, red, or black. And the black one actually opens up the black door that opens at the, I think it's about the 25-minute mark. You get to know which black door opens in the radiation zone. In the radiation zone on Arctic base, there's two black doors, Black Door A and Black Door B. And it's just a chance at which one in the match wants to let people open. So sometimes it can be Black Door B, sometimes it can be Black Door A. And from my experience, and this could just be me being biased, Black Door B seems to always give better loot than Black Door A.
Interesting. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that. Call it out when you see it, because I'm definitely curious to see if that turns out to be true. But with the loot that is in those, behind those black doors, rather, I mean, are we looking at just like elevated loot, ammo, etc.? Are we looking at bars?
So
What are we looking at?
The boxes behind those black doors have extremely elevated loot. You have high chances of getting gold bars, gold piles. You can walk out of one of those black doors anywhere from 1 million to 3 million richer.
That is significant. Obviously, these teams will be looking to do just that. Misty Mayhem starting to shoot up a bit on their end as well. And I will point out that the bandit kills of, computer players, essentially enemy players, those are not worth the 100,000 Metro cash. It's only the player eliminations that are worth that 100K. And as you can see here, it looks like Quan, Deadshot, and Chiffon, their squad is just about to get run into and sandwiched from two sides. So
yeah,
I
this
think
is
we're
a
about
tough
to see
spot
some
to
action.
play. It's hard to push through this crouch spot because you're really, really vulnerable. But it's definitely a good point to hold the top of this room. The top of this room is kind of king here.
High ground always a great spot to be in. WPGN peeking a bit here, getting pieced up. Uh-oh. We got HH on fire. This is trouble.
Yeah, and those mollies really spread out in those close quarter areas.
Absolutely. We've got some trouble in paradise right now for HH24 and the squad. Again, he is the pro representing Metro Masters. He'll be captaining the squad. We got Ares also for the team trying to do their best. Chiffon, unfortunately, his squad getting mowed down here. It's all right. He'll bounce back. Chiffon's a talented player.
Angry Hoser going to go ahead and get the full reset. And one thing about Ares, he actually creates Metro Royale content every single day. He live streams, puts out videos, puts out TikToks. He's got a YouTube channel that he's been growing very consistently lately. He's probably one of the more well-known Metro Royale creators that's in this tournament right now.
I love that. Good call out too. You'll find Ares, it looks like, on the Metro Master squad. They're currently sitting in 4th place. And the good news is they have positive numbers. So you can hear the Geiger counter noise, that clicking in the background. Dab, talk to us about what that means.
I think Angry Hoser accidentally switched his vest with the vest that the boss dropped because he doesn't have a lead liner on. So when you're out in the radiation zone, the way that you don't slowly take damage, like you see Angry Hoser doing right now, is you have either the radiation pills that really only last about 20 seconds per use, and I think they're 20,000 Metro cash per pill. So, I mean, if you think about it, it's 60K just to have 1 minute without radiation damage. Or if you spend 300,000 Metro Cash, you can get a permanent lead line fabric in your vest that you don't have to sit there and pop pills over and over. The lead line fabric just takes care of it throughout the entire time you're out in the radiation zone. You take 0 damage, you can loot freely.
In a former life, I worked in radiation protection, Dab. This is a true story. And I respect the attention to detail and realism of wearing that lead-lined gear, because it would actually stop like beta radiation from coming through and penetrating the body. So super cool that you can wear that like on your person as armor and be protected here. As it looks like we've got HH24 down to no life. Okay, I was gonna say, how is he still alive and standing? But he will go down, and it looks like it's up here to Fake Dream to try to come up with a clutch.
Oh, Neptura's thinking about coming around the side there. Going out with a nade. No damage, though. Unfortunately, they were shielded by the computers. See, Ares knows he's got to hold that pinch spot. Because if he lets them in the top of the room, it's game over.
Absolutely. You've got a lot of teams kind of in this area, battling it out, trying to like get the leg up on one another. Does the radiation get worse over time, or is it kind of constant?
It's constant the whole time. It doesn't get any worse.
See the haze here of yellow looming over the battlegrounds. These teams,
yeah, definitely puts an ominous feel on everything.
It does. We get the teams kind of battling for supremacy right now, just trying to own this area. We've got 3 of them in there kind of duking it out. They seem to be trading, but no one really kind of getting finishes. Zombie Zenith, though, I can't tell. It looks like... No, it's Blockade Brigade has fully been eliminated as well now, so they have shifted into the last spot, and they have lost 3.5 million, it looks like, in loot. So that is tough breaks for them. We still have 4 teams left, and again, Dab, all of these teams can elect to just not fight and go extract, right? They could.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's funny how you see a lot of people fighting right now. They could just be on the other side of the radiation zone, completely clearing out house. I mean, each side of the radiation zone can be anywhere worth 2 to 5 million Metro Cash just sitting there in those boxes, waiting for the taking. And at the end of the game, that's when you can kind of go hunt out other players and, you know, let them do the looting for you, and just have a quick little fight and a come up on 5 million loot. So it's interesting to see
stockage of those extraction points, if you will. Try to get those quick squad wipes, and you know, like you said, let them do the looting work for you. Take advantage of that on the extract. But I mean, honestly, I don't know if it's worth it when you look at the point structure of 100,000 Metro Cash per elim. That, you know, relative to 3 million, 3.5 million, that doesn't seem like a ton here, because there's only 4 members on the squad. I feel like it's definitely the move to pull out and go find some loot elsewhere.
You can get an entire squad's worth of points in eliminations just out of one box if you get a gold bar and a couple of blueprints, or if it's a gold pile. So I would definitely be prioritizing opening up these loot boxes over taking these fights. I would take the fights at the very end if I had to take any of them at all. But, you know, these players are...
Seasoned pro.
These players are PUBG Mobile VIPs. They're all sweaty, and, I mean, they really want... I mean, it's hard when you know where somebody is to not go take the fight. I get it. I totally get it.
I was just going to say, I respect it, because, like, if I was on the Battlegrounds right now, I would be doing the exact same thing. Like, if I see somebody, I'm, you know, just Red Dead, I'm looking right at them, that's what I'm going after, and I wouldn't be thinking necessarily super strategically here. But for the context of winning $7,500 US that is in this prize pool tonight, maybe, just maybe, somebody has a second thought about, maybe this isn't the engagement that we want to take at this point.
I mean, a single elimination out of one of these matches might be the difference between you winning $100 tonight and winning a few thousand. So,
wow, pretty incredible. I do want to give a shout out, obviously, to PUBG Mobile for even putting these on and giving, you know, people the opportunity to go play some video games and make some nice cash, you know, on a weeknight here at cool Thursday nights. This is really, really cool. Got some loot happening here. Signal generator found by Yamna.
Yeah, it's nice to see that not everybody went out to radiation and took the sweaty way. You do see the Arctic allies outside of the radiation. They're looting up the boss area. I think they already took the boss out in this room. They probably don't have the red password to open up that door, but there's still a lot of loot in this area for the taking.
Absolutely. Talk to me a little bit about the M249 in this mode. I know some of the other LMGs are incredibly solid, but talk to me about the M249. Is that on par, or is that lag a little bit behind?
So the Metro Royale player base, they really don't use too many of the 5.56 weapons, but I will say that with the most recent update, there was a new talent tree option added to where formerly you could have a talent that increased assault rifle damage, increased sniper rifle damage, SMG damage, shotgun damage, but there was no LMG damage and multiplier increase until this most recent update where they did finally add an LMG talent. So the M249 and the LMGs have been kind of having a comeback now that you can get the increased damage in your talents. And that might be something else we want to talk about for the new players in Metro Royale. As you level up your Metro Royale character, or I guess account level, or you unlock talent points, there's, I guess you would call them, they're called companions. I know that there's companions that are in the classic. That's like the thing that follows you around, whether it be a dog or a bird or a cat. But there's actually, I guess they're pretty much considered NPCs that are in the Metro Royale lobby that you level up with popularity items over time. And there's one called Vera, and as you level up Vera, she gives you talent points. And there's a whole bunch of different talents that either make you run faster with your gun put away, they can make you reload faster, you can get less recoil, you can get, every time you eliminate a bandit, it gives you a certain amount of energy, so you don't have to sit there and constantly drink energy drinks. So not only is Metro Royale an intuitive and different type of game mode, but there's also things like talent points that can kind of really make you unique as in your playstyle.
Absolutely. Great points there. Utility for a lot of those upgrades. That's obviously super useful in a mode like this where everything kind of seems to scale up. We do see a green door illuminated on that right-hand leaderboard. The Metro Masters had Ares survive the encounters in radiation, and ultimately he limps to the extraction point. And that is good news for his squad, but unfortunately for them, they are almost 1 million Metro cash in the hole after round 1. Hopefully they'll improve their performance in game number 2, but we just saw our maps here a moment ago. 3 squads still kind of out there and battling for loot. Ares opted to, take off a little bit early, and we saw Misty Mayhem kind of running around one of the camps where their extraction point is and still picking up a little bit of loot, but ultimately, they're right there kind of ready to go as soon as there's any sign of trouble.
Yeah, it did seem like Ares extracted really early there with over half the match left to go. And I mean, it's not just the loot in radiation that people should be going after. You should, I mean, once you know radiation's looting, these teams should be venturing out to all the other parts of the map.
Wonder if he had lost track of where the other teams were, because essentially, I mean, there was a lot of fighting in the middle of the map at that radiation point. But with 2 full squads eliminated, there was a lot of room out there, right? Like the whole western part of the map was pretty much unoccupied. As we take a peek in on Yamna Gaming here, see her looting up.
Her and Becky.
I like the focus there on the loot though. She's been on it this whole time, really trying to add to the total, and just like that, Tunnel Tirade will jump into the top spot on the leaderboard right now. 6 team elims right now in their favor, and also 3.3 million in Metro cash.
That Tunnel Tirade, that would be Dr. Chemist, Neptura, Fox 1K, and Baton putting it down, putting the work in. Misty Mayhem not too far behind though. They're only 500,000 behind. And that would be Valak, NRI, FaZe, and Squidge. Checking out the Arctic Allies now. I think this is an already looted boss location. I think they're just, going through and trying to, maybe they're on their way to extract.
I love ziplining uphill, Dabs. What about you? It just feels good.
Yeah, I mean, every morning I wake up, I get some coffee, and I go out in the back, and I just hit the zip line a couple of times. Like, it's really a great way to start your day, and in Metro Royale, it's a great way to get around the map.
Love that.
They are looting up everything. They're not leaving any stone unturned. They're out on the very northern edge of the map right now.
No, would love to, at some point here soon, we'd love to take a peek at the map because those squads at one point were right next to each other. I do believe they've kind of gone separate ways, but I'm curious to know, are they going to step on each other at the extraction point? They have separated a bit here, so you do see, we've got the teams in the middle, the Tunnel Tirade, which is the black squad there, and then we have the Arctic Allies in blue. They're getting pretty dangerously close to one another, and they are headed towards each other. So maybe we see an engagement here.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that.
Will be worth
you do share extraction points with one other team in your lobby, so we could possibly see a fight at the extraction for sure.
I hope we do, man. I like the drama. I want to see it.
Dr. Chemist out here getting the less known boxes. These boxes down here in the river, people forget about them all the time.
And you shouldn't, man. Water purifiers. Got the battery in there.
That was like a 200,000 point box just right there.
I mean, look at the Tunnel Tirade. They've shot up to 4.3 million now. So they've got a nice little lead. But I will say, with all of this loot, and all of this value that you're able to amass in a single game of Metro Royale, and combine that with the fact that you can also lose it just as easily, I feel like this is not a game where you can run away with it as easily. But look at that. A gold
That's
bar.
Another 350,000 points.
Beautiful. Tunnel Tirade over 5 million now. It's a big clutch loot box.
Oh, we see Yamna shooting at a bandit down by that helicopter pad. A cool thing about Metro Royale is in the normal classic gameplay, the flare gun calls in a loot drop for you. But in Metro Royale, the blue flare gun calls in a custom extract, wherever you want to call that in, whether you're ready to leave or not. And on that helicopter pad, if you shoot the flare on the helicopter pad, it shows up within 10 seconds of you firing off the flare. Anywhere else on the map, not on a helicopter pad, it takes 2 minutes for the plane to show up.
Absolutely. Looks like there's some loot trading going on right now, and I'm not sure if there's some stuff on the ground, because I thought they were well over 3 million loot, and not at the moment. They've got 2.9. Okay, yeah, they're starting to pick it back up. I was like, what are we doing here?
They're probably just feeding it to one person and telling him to get out of here.
That makes sense.
Drop it, lock it in, and then the other two players remaining can go off and try to find more loot.
Nice little powwow here. It's these moments just like this, Dad, that I'm always like silently rooting. Like, I hope another squad just kind of rolls up.
It could definitely happen.
All right, so here is that 10-minute counter. We should be looking in a minute, right? At that, or was it 1 minute ago? My math is.
Oh no, that was 10 minutes ago for the tank, and I didn't think it spawned. I didn't see it on anybody's map or on anybody's. I didn't see the pop-up come up on anybody's screen. So unfortunately, the tank did not spawn. It's about a 1 in 5 chance. Out of my personal experience, it's about a 1 in 5 chance that you get the tank to spawn. And the crazy thing about the tank is it is the most powerful boss in Metro Royale. The MG3 that's on the back of the tank can take you out in 3 shots. So you really have to hide from it. You can't let it shoot at you. It shoots missiles as well that can take out any object, like that tractor right there. The tank could just take it out in 1 rocket. It just goes poof.
That is epic. It's a boss that you truly have to respect. You can see Mango and Valak here continuing to loot, trying to get every piece of valuable item stuff into their backpacks. You saw their teammate, NRI Gaming, just a moment ago, extract. And so now that's 2 members of Misty Mayhem that are off the battlegrounds and safe, guaranteeing that the majority of their loot will leave with them in hand. But Valak trying to milk every last bit out of this map as we turn our attention to the map and see these squads again a fair distance away from each other, but all of them still trying to, really just squeeze all of the value they can before they extract.
And it looks like the team Tunnel Tirade is definitely well in the lead with over twice as much as the Misty Mayhem team. And that's kind of the beauty of juicing up Radiation for all it's worth, is there's a lot of loot out there. I would say over 80% of the entire value in the lobby is out in Radiation. So whoever wins Radiation is
8-0?
Yeah, about 80% of the value in each lobby is in Radiation alone. You can get lucky and find some good items outside of Radiation, but it's definitely not going to be in abundance like you can in the Radiation zone.
Yeah, you could definitely see why there was all that fighting there early on, and all these teams were adamant, like, this is our spot. If that much loot is on the line, maybe it was the move to fight there and take control of that space. You can see the Tunnel Tirade up to 6.8 million now, more than doubling up on second place as far as their loot value goes. But just because they're big in the lead right now does not mean it's going to stay that way. They still have to get off the map, and they probably have the furthest to go unless they're calling in a little bit of air support to get off the map.
Yeah, and all it takes is for one or two of them to get taken out, and all of that loot goes bye-bye to the victors of the fight. And they got to consistently do this, too, because if they don't come out in the next match with a whole bunch, but somebody else does, then this match is going to hold a little bit them high up in the leaderboard, but they have to consistently do this, too. The next match is going to be the zombie mode, and it'll definitely be a different ball game when we're on Zombie Uprising. Obviously, because it's a different map and people kind of rotate and move differently on that map. So let's see if they can take the strategy here and move it on over to Zombie Uprising next. There's only 6 minutes left in the match, a little over 6 minutes. So we'll be seeing that very soon.
Absolutely. It does, we could see the possibility of several of these matches obviously ending early if teams all choose to extract before the timer, or if, we see somebody eliminated and the game just is over. But we could run it all the way down to 0 on the timer, and it looks like that is where we are trending right now, as we've still got 3 squads out there looting up. Tunnel Tirade and Arctic Allies are full squads, whereas Misty Mayhem have opted a little bit for the hedge, right? Sending a couple members off early, but we've got
a smart strategy
still on the battlegrounds. Yeah, I respect it. I like it. I feel like, this running around in, whether it's counterclockwise or clockwise around the outskirts of the map is always going to pose a bit of a risk factor, because just like this,
Valak and Mango pulling up behind him. See, and I think this is why they just left 2 players on the map, because if 2 players can get out with the majority of all the loot that they got, and the other 2 players can go hunting for the players that do have the remainder of the loot in the lobby, then that's actually a really good strategy. And now they're getting close to their extract, so hopefully they find them before they leave.
Absolutely. Notice the players they left are probably some of their higher caliber gun skill players, right? The people that, the esport pros, exactly. It's like those are the guys that are going to win you those clutch fights. So I like the strategy here. Let's see if they clash, but I don't know. It looks like the speed boots are on for Tunnel Tirade as they head towards the extraction point. Doesn't look like anybody's meant to catch them here, and they're looking to secure first place after our first map.
And that's going to be a really nice lead for them. Especially with the 6 eliminations, that's going to be another 600,000 points. So they're looking at 6.4 million, or 7.4 million, excuse me, of points they're going to be getting out of here. 7.5 actually, because they're about the 7 million mark anyways. So 7.6. That's going to be huge for them.
Here it is. The extract, all 4 huddle up. They've called in the helicopter, and that will start their countdown to get off the map. Players start to disappear back to the lobby. And just like that, Tunnel Tirade locks it in, and they clutch out a massive game number 1, 6.9 million loot value, heading off the map here. But it's not over just yet. It's down to Misty Mayhem and Arctic Allies, and they're relatively equal right now as far as loot goes.
Yeah, it's really good for Tunnel Tirade to really give their all to the Arctic base match, because the other maps don't have as much loot value as this map. So, like, Zombie Uprising is placed on Misty port, and the very last match we'll be doing Old Blockade Zone, and those 2 maps don't have as much value as this map. So, for the team to go all out on this map really is going to set them up for success.
Absolutely here. I'm really hoping that Valak and Mango here stumble onto some enemies. The timer has really become more prominent. You can see just under 4 minutes left to go before this map is over and said and done. Dab, talk to us about the extract. If you don't meet the extract point in that timer, what happens to the loot?
Okay, so in normal classic matches, you get to slowly see the zone close in on one spot of the map, right? We all know classic battle royales. In Metro Royale, when that timer hits 0, it instantly closes in a split second and does 100% damage. It only ticks 1 time and you're done. So if these teams don't make it and are pressing the extract button at least by the 8-second mark, they're all gone.
Sounds like that radiation zone going a bit critical, perhaps, and all of these guys are just being eliminated off the map, but still scrounging around for whatever loot we can find. Yamna, I gotta give her kind of, huge props and kudos. I've seen her looting like a madwoman this whole time, so really like the play there from Yamna. And Mango and Valak here still looting, but also seemingly on the hunt. They were close, but I don't know. Well, you know, they were right next to that other
They were
squad.
right next to him.
I don't know if they knew that, though. You know what I mean? They were like one compound away, but I don't know that they ever caught visual there before they were able to scamper off.
One of the things I love about Metro is you can have times like this. Oh, it looks like they're leaving. Where all it would have taken was a bandit to see one of these players and pop one shot. And then everybody else around knows that something's going on over there. Because bandits don't shoot at each other. So if there's a bandit shot, there's definitely a player there. But fortunately, looks like Valak and Mango are going to be the last on the map. And they're still coming out with a little bit more loot than Arctic Allies. But it definitely would have been nice to for them to see them fight and get the other 2.6 million that they could have swooped up.
It's all right, though. They'll take this, you know, this is like a solid. You're looking for consistency across all of these games and not having too much of a gap to cover as the maps go on. You know, I think they're going to be happy here being in the positive numbers first and foremost, but also, you know, they're within range of second place. And don't forget, I mean, that's still like $450 a player if you finish in second place tonight. So really excited to see kind of what the overall leaderboards are going to say after our first map on Arctic Base. Dab, talk to us a little bit about your reaction from our first map tonight.
Man, there was so much fighting out in the boss area, out in Radiation. I didn't actually expect to see like 2 or 3 teams go out there and fight. I thought we were going to see teams coming from all angles and just kind of slowly loot their corners of the Radiation zone. And I thought we were just going to see everybody meet in the middle and have a massive fight. But 2 teams went out there, shut it down, and got the majority. Which team was it? That was the Tunnel Tirade. Went out there and got the majority of all of the loot, and that worked out in their favor.
They absolutely crushed. Again, nearly 7 million in damage. We'll take a look at the highlights here from our first map of the night. Again, Arctic Base, a really, really exciting one. Kicked off with action early here. Fate and the Blockade Brigade taking on Dr. Chemist and his squad. Ultimately, it was kind of swinging one way, but a nice flank by Neptura really kind of sealed the fate early on of Zombie Zenith. Then we turn our attention tab to this Radiation zone.
Yeah,
where
look at all that fire. Yeah, when you're in close quarter combats like this and the fire spreads everywhere, it could just take a few mollies and you got a whole team taken out. But yeah, this was crazy to see all these fights happening out in the Radiation zone. Oh, we get to see Becky taking out the boss there. That is the Steelfront boss that typically drops really good loot.
Absolutely. Here's that extraction point. You see the loot exchange happening, and I really like the tactics we saw from Valak and Misty Mayhem's squad, leaving with 2 hunters on the battlegrounds, sending 2 people back with loot to keep everything safe and secure. I like the strategy. It didn't really pay off.
It's a shame it didn't work out.
But... Exactly. I really would have liked to have seen them been able to engage, see how it went. I don't think they were carrying much loot. Values you saw when they did extract, it didn't really elevate their total a whole heck of a lot. But that's okay. As we turn our attention to kind of, you know, our next map, we've got Zombie Uprising here coming shortly. Dab, talk to us a little bit about what we can expect to see in that one.
Okay, so Zombie Uprising takes place on the Misty Port map that was added a few updates ago. And you were going to see a lot of zombies, obviously, by the name. And there's red boxes out there that have really, really good loot that are scattered across the entire map. It looks like little red treasure chests. Anytime a player gets near those, it's going to uprise a horde of zombies to chase after them. There's a few different boss locations on Misty Port as well. And unlike the normal version of Misty Port, the Zombie Uprising version has 2 bosses at each location. You take out the normal first zombie boss, and then if you wait a few minutes, there's another boss that will come out of a little metal vessel that you can take out and get all of their loot as well. The cool thing about the zombie bosses is that they're different than the normal bosses that are on Misty Port, because some of them you have to shoot specific parts of their body to do major damage. Otherwise, we could be seeing these players, if they don't know that, we could be seeing some of these players using all of their ammo just to take out one boss. And then out in the Radiation zone, there's extremely good loot on Misty Port. And again, 2 bosses. You have the variants out there. There's one variant that shoots fire, and then there's another variant that shoots poison. And they do a couple of different type of attacks each, but they are very, very deadly, kind of comparable to the tank boss that we have on Arctic Base. So Zombie Uprising, I'm excited to see how these teams tackle all of the bosses, because like I said, each one of the bosses on the Zombie Uprising is really different from anything that we've seen in any other part of Misty Port. And you have teams that spawn again on the edges, and everybody's going to kind of run up to the north and get hopefully try to be the first one to the radiation zone, because that's where the majority of the loot will be.
That's amazing insights there. I'm so excited. You said a couple things there that really kind of piqued my interest. First and foremost, are the bosses right? Quite difficult. They can pack a serious punch. How important are taking out those bosses when it comes to the loot they provide? And to, you know, what's the strategy going to look like as far as the overall score when it comes to those bosses being in play?
So the bosses, they drop level 6, level 5. They can drop guns, they can drop items, they drop these things called schematics, which is something we haven't talked about yet. In the last update of Zombie or Metro Royale, they added this new special traits area in the lobby where you use these schematics to pair up with your fabled gear, and you can add special traits to your gear, whether it be taking less damage from PvE. There's some traits that automatically repair your vest health. There's some traits that give you more headshot damage versus all the zombies and stuff. So we're going to be seeing a lot of loot dropping from those bosses. If I was a player, I would be taking out those bosses on my way up to radiation for sure.
Makes a lot of sense. And, you know, as far as strategy is concerned, you know, those modifiers, especially to like bullet damage, going to be really important, I feel, because when you drop onto the map, it seems like you've got a lot of ammunition, right? I believe players are spawning in with roughly 700 rounds. But with zombies spawning and the hordes that are going to be coming their way, I don't know if those 700 rounds are going to be enough. We'll keep an eye on that. But first, let's check out the leaderboard after round number 1 and see where things sit. It looks like the total value for Tunnel Tirade does reach nearly 7.5 million dabs. They've more than doubled up on Misty Mayhem in second place.
That is crazy. They're more than twice as much as Team 2 Misty Port. So I mean, hopefully on the next Zombie Uprising we can see Misty Mayhem and Arctic Allies kind of close that gap a little bit, as well as you know, the team down in the bottom place, Blockade Brigade, they're negative 1.3 million. They might only just barely get back to 0 after this next match if everything goes right.
Let's hope that let's hope they do for their sake, right? Tunnel Tirade able to put away 7.5 million in the first round here. Talk to me a little bit about your expected or forecasted loot value that you can actually escape the map with, right? Misty Port, a different map than Arctic Base. Zombie mode, different than the regular Metro mode, right? Are we looking at far less loot that you're able to extract with? Is it comparable? Is it more when we're looking at the Zombie Uprising mode?
It's about half as much as the Arctic Base. Arctic Base, it has a lot of boxes in general. There's over 50 loot boxes in the radiation zone in Arctic Base alone, but the radiation zone on Misty Port has like, think 32. So it's almost half as many boxes. So it's about half as much loot.
Makes a ton of sense. I'm excited to see the red crates personally. I want to see those zombies spawn and, you know, rush these players. Very exciting. Again, got Misty Port coming up next. We're going to take a peek at the Zombie Uprising in maps 2 and 4 tonight. And then obviously we'll just look at straight up Misty Port here in map 3. So we're going to see this one and get comfortable on it. We are loading up our lobby, getting ready to drop in here for our second game of the night. Dab, based on what you saw in our first game of the evening, any predictions that you can hit us with as far as teams go? Who do you expect to perform well in map number 2, and who's going to ultimately get the biggest loot value?
I expect the Tunnel Tirade to come through and just do a repeat of exactly what they did. And I'm just going to go ahead and predict it now. Zombie Zenith might have a rough time on this next 3 matches, because I know T-Mags, I play with him a lot. All right, he's not the best Misty Port player. He doesn't know all the angles and stuff. But Metro Masters also, Aries, he plays and streams a lot, and he tries to be on all of the region and world leaderboards. And the main map he uses is Misty Port to get up on the leaderboard. And the reason being is because it's extremely easy to get one of those extraction flares on Misty Port. So you can get out there, get all the loot, and be out before the first 10-minute mark. So I definitely see Metro Masters definitely having an upper hand here, because Aries is a Misty Port pro.
Makes a lot of sense. I think it's far less risky to take that flare and, you know, extract from the destination that's probably sheltered, and, you know, you've got some nice things to hide behind, versus the extraction points out in the middle of nowhere. Everybody's kind of looking at them. They know where to expect those. But I gotta say, Dabs, T-Max is gonna have a bone to pick with you, my friend. You were riding for this man in the pregame, saying that T-Max is gonna take everything that you taught him. I'm hearing you vouching for these other squads out here and saying T-Mags ain't the best on Misty Port. So he's got,
Misty Port,
a valid bone to pick, I think, my friend.
No, you're not wrong, but I mean, I've got all of the evidence in the VODs to back it up that he is definitely not the Metro Master when it comes to Misty Port. And another thing that we have to realize about the map Misty Port is it's not like Arctic Base where you could have a team fighting over here and then a team, you know, somewhere else in the map just not even hear the shots. Misty Port's a bit different. You can pretty much hear whatever's going on halfway across the map. So as these teams are fighting, you're going to be seeing a lot of like third and fourth parties.
I have a feeling that those will be prevalent for the reasons that you mentioned, but also, you know, flashing back here to game number 1 and we saw the radiation zone encounters. No one was backing down. They wanted those fights, and the fact that they heard, you know, the other teams, they were like, we're going after this. We're going to get it done, even if it costs us our squad, which it did for, unfortunately, a couple different squads there. I think when they hear those shots, when they see those players, they will engage. So I'm expecting fireworks here on our second map. As far as my prediction goes, for map number 2, I got to look at none other than Misty Mayhem. Again, Valak kind of leading the squad there from an esports pro perspective, but they're also flanked by NRI Gaming, FaZe GG, and Squidge Gaming. Solid roster, and I really liked how they kind of broke up that strategy in game number 1. Again, it was kind of luck that it didn't really work out in their favor. It didn't amount to much, but I like the thinking. I like what I saw there. I like the distribution of loot and playing it safe while also sending out some hunters to go get things done. My hope is that they do something similar here in this next round, but they actually find another squad to connect with. You know, fingers crossed, toes crossed. We'll see if that actually happens here. We are just about ready.
Separation.
Yeah, go ahead, Dab.
With the separation in the leaderboard now, I feel like we might see more teams running that strategy. So we might see, it probably will happen this upcoming match for sure.
I think it definitely makes sense for our top squad, Tunnel Tirade, at this point to play it safe, right? They've got a big lead right now, and they need to kind of hedge and make sure that they get out with something. They can't afford a goose egg and allow these other teams to close a significant gap. But the match the countdown timer has begun. 30 minutes on the clock. Misty Port is live action right now. Dab making a first glance here at the map. 4 teams in the west right near each other. We've got 2 teams in the east. Talk to us about what this map situation looks like.
Yeah, over on the west side of the map, that is where most of the fights happen. A lot of teams spawn over there. Normally, you do see the team that spawns the most northwest to just take off towards radiation first. But in the southwest, we see 3 teams going at it already. Yeah, Yamna Gaming gonna go ahead and start getting up the boxes. Or you see the red, we see the red chest over there.
Wow. Blockade Brigade. Blockade Brigade already 3 elims right now. Metro Masters wiped off the map very quickly. They do trade with Zombie Zenith, though. They get 1 in their favor, but man, action early on, Dabs, in this one. The interesting thing, our 2 calls, right? You selected, I believe, Tunnel Tirade as the squad to watch for this one, while I was looking at Misty Mayhem. Those were the 2 squads that were on the east, further away from this pickle mess that we're seeing here on screen. So maybe our predictions were valid here for this the second map of the evening. But it is danger time right now for these squads. We got Angry Hoser all shacked up, just hoping to survive.
The only one left alive on Metro Masters is Angry Hoser, and at this point, he just needs to get away and start looting. If it was me, looks like he's gonna try to put some shots in on Quan, but didn't quite get the knock there. Quan, they're both going with the throwable. We've all been there.
He's so mad at that wall, Dab. Look at him. He's like, I'm gonna break this brick one at a time if I have to. These frags are pretty heavy, but unfortunately for him, not able to connect with the nades. Please don't do it with the molly. Please don't do it with the molly. Okay, he's safe for the moment.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you got to take out the enemy wall.
Got to tear the walls down, you know what I'm saying? Angry Hoser, you can see on the little player cam, didn't look like a happy camper. Not exactly how he was hoping to start this map. Bella getting ready to peek. She does, and we cut away just in time to see a big whiff here. Quan Deadshot down on his knees. Hoping for that revive. Houston King Boy trying to get over to him.
Too.
Ooh, tough. Who is this? The Blockade Brigade? Yeah, they are in a tough spot right now. They really need to come up big on this map as they had a pretty rough game number 1.
Yeah, Angry Hoser is definitely not about to let WPG into that house. He's going to throw some nades and mollies. I can tell. He's holding that down. But he can't really peek too much because Bella's back there holding an angle.
She likes to hold those angles. She's always sniping. trying to lay down the law. The MK14, I guarantee, is in her hand right now. Your grenades
All right, it's
kind of
nice to see
landing all
Chiffon
around.
get a reset, which is, you know, pretty pivotal for the team considering he is the resident pro player. So definitely need to get up the pro player. Oh, you see T-Mags and Bella Fox, they're just going to start taking off towards the radiation zone. Now, when you enter the tunnels right here, it is the farthest traveling that you will have to do to the radiation zone. So if any other teams hop in the tunnels in front of them, they will definitely have another fight down the way.
On the bright side, they know that a lot of the teams that may hop in front of them are right behind them because they just had a big fight. And obviously, 3 members of Metro Masters already wiped out. Zombie Zenith losing 2 off the initial skirmish. But Zombie Zenith does save 2, and that is T-Mags and Bella Fox. They do make their escape, but who knows what may lie in wait. Maybe the Arctic Allies, maybe Misty Mayhem chilling and waiting for them. Got a little red loot here. What do we got? A little schematic.
Yeah, you need 10 of those to add a special trait to a fabled item. And from what most of the player base is saying, the fabled vest trait that just slowly repairs your vester ability over time in the match is definitely the best special trait that you want to get.
That's nice. So it does a bit of repair for you, just kind of regenerating over time.
Yep.
Very useful. I know I'd be needing that as much as possible.
I mean, once your vest is done, once the durability hits 0, I mean, you're basically wearing nothing. You're wearing a piece of paper. And yeah, having that trait is huge.
Love to see that. You know, one thing we haven't talked about yet, you know, you see all these players kind of loading into the lobby with the MK14, with the P90, both of which are extremely strong guns and kind of comprise the meta that is currently in Metro Royale. With this latest update, we've got the DBS and S12K shotguns on the map now as well. Are those going to play any sort of factor as far as like close range, pumping a lot of damage, boss fights, anything like that where a DBS might make sense?
Okay, since they added the new faction weapons for the DBS and the S12K, there is a very big portion of the player base that just holds doorways with S12Ks and just spams. And it really only takes about 2 pumps from an S12K, even to straight up level 6, and you're a goner. It's an extremely, extremely strong weapon in Metro Royale. But obviously it's, you know, for close range. So players that typically aren't looting radiation, like that hold all the other boss locations, are running these S12Ks. One interesting thing is if you want to get an S12K refined, guaranteed every single time, one of the bosses on Arctic Base actually drops one every single time you eliminate him. So, I mean, with that being a thing, there's just a massive portion of the player base that does run the S12K because you can just farm them without having to buy them.
That makes a lot of sense. Easy to find on Arctic Base. You've got the S12K in tow, and with the amount of damage it does, I could definitely see this being a tactic that, especially as we look towards competitive Metro, and there is the contest underground. Bella caught from behind and eliminated here by Chiffon. Still has a prayer, but it's not looking good here as Quan Deadshot and Chiffon are on the push. Will T-Mac save the day here? He's trying to get an angle here.
I hope so.
The day is not saved for Bella. She is gone.
So tunnel fights are way different than other fights in any other parts of just PUBG Mobile in general, because it's just a very linear, like, face-to-face. There's not a whole lot of like cover. The second you peek around the corner, you're just risking.
Ooh.
Yeah, T-Max, he knows how to take a tunnel fight.
He's got 2 down, 2 to go right now. Chiffon having to pick up the team right now. WPGN trying to get back into the fight. Houston Kingboy holding angles on point right now. Trying to keep T-Max down. Does connect for a little bit of damage. T-Max back in the fight as well. But here is a clutch engagement. If he can get this knock, this might swing the fight in his favor.
No.
But it does not. He is down. And just like that, that will eliminate Zombie Zenith in 6th place. They lose 3.5 million Metro cash.
Well, I'm very proud of him for at least trying to take the fight. He could have turned around and made some other decision, went off for loot or something, but It's very, very respectable.
100%. He came back on his shield, you know what I mean? Like, he took that fight. Did not ultimately pan out for him, but hey, it was a respectable performance there. Took out
I believe
two
it's
of
what
the
the
other
kids
team.
call these days as standing on business. That's what
That's
Team Max is
exactly
doing
right.
there.
Standing on business. Very good. Oh no, I feel old. Here we go.
Oh, we're seeing one of the bosses. As you can see, there's the glowing vials that are sticking off the boss's arm there, and those actually do the majority of the damage to the boss. If you don't shoot those, you could end up just wasting all of your ammo.
Good to know.
One more that they gotta pop off before they're doing maximum damage. Oh, there they go.
And he's down. The waves of zombies are coming. Taking a peek at the ammo right now, you can see Dr. Chemist, Fox K. I mean, they're down to just about 250 rounds right now between their weapons. That's a third of what they started the map with, and there is still a lot of time on the clock. 21 minutes till extract, and they are dwindling on resources. These teams are also equipped with pans, so a melee fight, it would not be unheard of here towards the end of this game, Dab.
Nah, and I mean, if you don't really want to melee fight any of the bandits either, or the zombies, because they will really eat your vest health. But I mean, that's what happens with teams that don't spawn in the West. They didn't get to have those early game fights and just kind of taking another entire team's consumables. So they're bare bones in it at this point.
See if it pans out. Nice lens pickup here from Mango. Misty Mayhem onto the top of the leaderboard right now, sitting in first place right now. Dab, both the squads that we did pick early on sitting in first and second place. So far the predictions panning out. We'll see if we cast or curse them or not here before it's all said and done.
Yeah, Misty Mayhem, fortunate enough to be the first team to get out to Radiation, sucking up all that loot. And as you see in the bottom left hand there is another boss icon at the bottom floor there. They wait enough time, there'll be another boss they can take out and get a lot of loot from there as well. But that's going to mean that they have to give they're going to give Tunnel Tirade a chance to get out here and hopefully contest them for it.
Absolutely. You do see that Mango, for example, here, quite a bit more ammo than some of the previous squads that we peeked in on had. So seemingly Misty Mayhem might be doing a bit better off resources-wise. Over 450 rounds on him right now. So impressive loot management at this point. 100,000 level 5 helmet there. So you love to see that.
It looks like it is zombie time, though, so they are having hordes of zombies pushing them. They will run out of ammo soon. But they keep shooting the zombies in the feet. I think we saw the Arctic allies making their way out when he panned over towards the other entrance. I'm pretty sure they looked pretty close.
Maybe they'll be happy with their, 1.1 million again in first game of the day. It seemed like they did all right. So again, maybe consistency is key here. Currently sitting in third place as Tunnel Tirade makes the jump into second. Here we take a peek over with Fox 1K, Dr. Chemist.
Oh, they are definitely making their way out to Radiation as well. This is going to be a crazy fight we're going to see out here. I was hoping that we were going to see teams loot their way to Radiation. And, whoever takes out Misty Mayhem is going to get a nice little payday. The thing about the Radiation Zone in Mistyport is when you come in the door, there's zip lines basically right next to the door that can zip you straight up to the top of that middle building. And if you're the team that's holding the top of that middle building, it's really, really hard to lose a fight. So if we see Arctic allies come from one direction and then Tunnel Tirade coming from the other direction, we're going to see possibly, hopefully, a triple team fight on the main building in Radiation. That would be great. Looks like they're going to make their way out now.
Here we go, hopping on the rail car. Lots of zombies in play here, Dab. Talk to me about the damage these zombies do. Are these characters that we should fear at this point, or is it kind of a non?
Oh yeah, they do a lot of damage. I would say that if you let a zombie stand there and hit you, it only takes about 5 or 6 hits to take you out. They do about 20 HP per hit or so. And the vest damage doesn't really make a difference. So what vest you're wearing doesn't really make too much of a difference. They do a lot of damage to level 6, just as much as they do to level 1.
Seems like some track stars out here as far as the zombies go. They are chasing this rail car. They do not care.
You got to take them out. You can't run them over.
Oh, man, this is painful to watch. They're trying to escape, but just not going fast enough. Baton, you gotta pump the arms harder. Hit the weight room, my friend. Maybe somebody else can help pump this cart down the tracks. Can hear those MKs going off quite a bit. Dab, talk to me a little bit about the P90. Obviously, in one of the latest updates, it no longer takes 9mm ammo. We're up to 5.7 ammo, which for me is my favorite type of ammo. And now the P90's rocking it, and it seems to have made a pretty big difference. What are the players thinking now about the P90?
So the P90 did get a massive revamp a couple of updates ago, and since the revamp of the P90, it has become what I would consider the contender for the meta in Metro Royale, with it having such a fast fire rate and such a fast bullet speed, being the 5.7 ammo, that it is almost comparable to the MK14, which players have been using for several years as the meta weapon. In the P90, the thing that's different about the P90 than the MK is that the close range, like how fast the bullets fly through the air, in close range, it's so much easier to eliminate somebody with a P90 than an MK that it's actually laughable, the difference. Now, the MK still has like that long range power, whereas, you know, the damage drop off with the 5.7 after a certain range really starts to take effect. But if you're good with hitting your shots and your enemy isn't, then that's also a whole nother ball game. But yeah, since the P90 got a revamp, it has definitely shaken up the meta in Metro Royale, and I'm loving it. I'm absolutely addicted to it. I got the last upgradable weapon for it as well. Trying to recall.
While you're doing that, we got the red crates with all of those zombies spawning. You can see Angry Hoser here having to mow them all down. But like you, Dab, I was really excited to hear of the P90 update because, again, it's such an iconic weapon, and I'm really glad to see it getting kind of the use that it should deserve.
Yeah, recently they came out with an upgradable version of it, the Devious Cybercat. And now, one of the things you see the most is you either see yourself getting shot by yellow hit markers or blue hit markers after, because everybody either runs the MK that has the on-hit effect where it's just a whole bunch of like little yellow explosions, or the on-hit effect with the new Devious Cybercat P90 where it's like a bunch of blue explosions. So that's what you see a lot in Metro Royale right now.
Absolutely. We've got, again, mostly the same situation as we had immediately off drop. All teams kind of in that same configuration and just focusing on loot at this point. We've got, looks like Misty Mayhem right now directly above one of the other squads, and that's going to be interesting as maybe they surface out from underground here momentarily, but heading on into a compound. Lots of bandits in play here. Opportunity to pick up some more loot, maybe get some lucky drops. Any opportunities to get, piles of gold or gold bars off of any of the bandits?
The bandits can drop purple items. I don't think I've ever seen a bandit drop a gold bar, to be honest, but they can drop the legendary tier of items. That would be like the tablets, the batteries, on this map particularly, you have the biological samples. So that's what you can see the bandits drop. Now these, if you see a zombie drop a red item, it's most likely a schematic. They drop the schematics a lot. But as far from a bandit, in my 4 years of playing, I don't think I've ever seen a bandit drop a gold bar.
I haven't either, and I was just, I was like, I know you play this mode more than I do, so I was like, maybe we can see a lucky drop or something like that. But we've got quite the battle going on right now for first place. Blockade Brigade and Misty Mayhem are jumping over one another back and forth right now on their loot value, so that's a really interesting one to keep our eyes on. Tunnel Tirade and Arctic Allies have slowed down a bit, and they're going to be looking to pick up the pace here as Blockade Brigade and Misty Mayhem continue to put a bit more distance between them and the others.
Well, if Blockade Brigade doesn't take this fight that's about to happen properly, the Tunnel Tirade can easily be #1 on the leaderboard for this match alone. They got to take this fight right here. As you can see, 2 of them have the roof. It looks like the other 2 are going to go take the side approach.
This is a dangerous fight right now. Tunnel Tirade obviously way out in front after one map, and he's got an angle here. Houston
Those
King
roof
Boy in the
angles are
sights.
so dirty.
Absolutely. Neptura misses the angle, but unfortunately for the Blockade Brigade, Houston Kingboy already knocked right now. It's up to WPGN to come clutch this one out. We'll see if he can do it, but angles upon angles right now for the enemy squad. This is going to be really difficult for them to overcome.
Yeah, when you're down below, you have to be really careful of where you're standing because you can easily get shot from those skylights. And I do that all the time. I check angles from the skylights because you're basically giving them a little tiny hole to thread a needle through, whereas you get a lot more than what they see for sure.
It's definitely a nasty angle. It's not an easy shot to land though either, because you just have that little window where you see, maybe some legs or, a torso very quickly, but obviously very difficult to defend against. You have to be very aware of the verticality of the map as well as all the angles for people pushing the inside. We'll see if they can coordinate a strike right now as Fox1K jumps off the roof and will choose to push this. And this is where we're about to see some action pop off. Blockade Brigade on the defense right now, and Fox K looking to push the action. Trouble here for the Blockade Brigade. Down goes Houston Kingboy for a second time. WPGN, the last hope here right now for this squad. And Fox1K not letting up at all. Here he comes in, Geronimo, and he's going to force the action close range. Good molly, but just a bit too late here. Chiffon also down, crawling to safety, trying to prolong his team just a bit longer. And this is looking rough right now for Blockade Brigade.
Oh, WPG just has to hold that room.
Yeah, I don't think they knew exactly where he was. That Molotov spooked him a little bit, and he ran early, and it's gonna cost him right now. The push from Baton makes quick work of the Blockade Brigade, and that will be their map. 4 players out of here. They will lose 1.7 million, and just like you talked about, Dab, that is massive. Yes, exactly. Exactly. The huge jump right now from 4th place probably to 1st when it's all said and done here, once this loot has been obtained. Tunnel Tirade back in a familiar spot. They will be, if not the top, they'll be near the top on this leaderboard.
Yeah, if any one of these teams wants to definitely make sure that they have a chance in the rest of this tournament, they have to go out there and take out Tunnel Tirade. But it looks like we see Misty Mayhem just going to lock in, which maybe, maybe they'll run the same strat where they send 2 people out. We'll see here.
Yeah, last time it was Mango and Valak that stayed on the map, and those are the first 2 to the extraction point right now. So seemingly maybe mixing things up a little bit, maybe all for extract at this point. But yeah, Tunnel Tirade has closed the gap significantly. They're up to within 200K right now exactly of the first place spot, and it continues to close. Over 3 million Metro cash now for Tunnel Tirade as it continues to pile up.
It looks like they're about to do the strat. You see them huddling up. They're going to start dropping loot, and they might send Valak and Mango out to the radiation to have a fight.
All right, I'm geeking out.
It'll be interesting to see a 2v4.
Yeah, I want to see this. I want to see this.
It wouldn't make sense for them to go to anywhere else on the map other than out to radiation. So hopefully we do see Tunnel Tirade overtaking and getting #1 right now on the leaderboard. They're out there looting up. Both numbers are climbing.
Absolutely. Tunnel Tirade jumps into first place. Misty Mayhem is dropping some loot right now, doing some exchanges, so you'll see them climb back up a bit as 200K or so on the ground right now. But Tunnel Tirade into the first place spot, securing 3 elims right now. Metro Masters did have 1 successfully escape. We saw that earlier on the map, so they're not a complete wipe. But we've got 2 other squads in Blockade Brigade and Zombie Zenith that, unfortunately for them, will not make it out with any score this round. In fact, will lose cash after round 2. And I am very curious to see if it's the same 2, if it's Mango, if it's Valak, for Misty Mayhem trying to play hero ball here and go get that loot secured for their squad.
And we were talking about weapon skins just a moment ago. They actually just released a new lucky spin about an hour ago that has a brand new MK14 skin in it, the Phoenix Song. And I'm looking at it now. I cannot wait to, after this broadcast, to definitely go record a brand new video getting this Phoenix Song MK14. It looks pretty nice.
That's epic. Some great skins on display right now. Obviously, you can't see a couple of the new ones due to the actual gear that's on these characters, the level 4, 5, 6, etc. But a brand new Galadria X suit also has just dropped in game, and we'll see some of the players with that bad boy potentially, and I'm sure we'll take a sneak peek at some of those at a break later on here. And then we're also going to see potentially an upgradable MG3 weapon, which is the first ever upgradable MG3 skin, so that is also quite exciting. And I know I'll have to go after that one because I don't think I have any skins at all for that weapon.
Yeah, I just got it this morning, and that's my first ever MG3 fully advanced upgradable all the way to the glorious moment. So
glorious moment. That's a great name.
The on-hit effect for the new MG3 is like a moon sitting in a sky. But the more bullets you hit on people, it's just little moons all over the place sitting in the sky. It's beautiful. I love it.
I'm so thankful you clarified that it was moons in the sky and not another type of moon. I was like, that's an interesting on-hit effect for sure. But the Galadria X suit, the MG3, we got the MK14, skins all over the place. Excited to see some of those as looks like Misty Mayhem continues to exchange loot, crawl around, do some weird movements, but they are just about ready to extract. It looks like another member, one has already headed back to the lobby, but while they've been screwing around at the extraction point, Tunnel Tirade up to 4 million Metro cash, and again, Dab, 7.5 million already in their pocket coming into the round, and things are looking very strong for them at this point in time.
I mean, I did say it at the beginning of the broadcast. Dr. Chemist does play Metro Royale pretty often on his live streams. You can find him on Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, and I actually had the pleasure of getting to meet Dr. Chemist in person last year when I was in San Francisco at a PUBG Mobile pop-up, and he's a pretty cool dude. He's a great guy, absolutely. Got Radiation Zone here on full display. Got that green haze. The players are starting to wade their way through. And again, that level 6 lead line gear, keeping them safe for the moment. Hopefully they don't swap out with a boss and start taking that damage like we saw last game. Yeah, one thing that is also a thing in Metro Royale is there's a undercover mode where if you don't have the loadout value to get on the map, you can spawn in halfway through the map in undercover mode, and it spawns you in naked and stuff. So on Arctic base, you see people coming out to the radiation zone like halfway through the match, completely naked all the time, and they just try to loot up what's around the door and then try to get out of the radiation zone before it cooks them. It's pretty funny to watch.
Love to see it. Taking a peek here at Mango right now. We had FaZe GG just extract a lobby. So it's again, Mango and Valak on the map right now for Misty Mayhem. And they're going to get some. But check the ammo out here for Mango. He's got 536 rounds in backup right now for his MK14. Clearly preferring that weapon over the P90. Curious to kind of take a peek at Valak as well and see kind of what his loadout's looking like also. But they have seemingly transferred.
Is running out too.
Absolutely. It seems like they transferred all of the loot, and they've kept all of the ammo right now. So Valak looks to be playing a bit more of a support role here with not quite as much to go around, but Mango heading the charge here, trying to hunt down Tunnel Tirade. It's the last squad on the map. It's also the one with the most loot.
It'd be interesting to see the map because I think the Tunnel Tirade's got to be just about done looting radiation at this point. So hopefully they don't. Oh, yep, they're leaving right now, and it looks like they went out the east side. So
it's close.
Yeah, the Misty Mayhem is going to be coming in from the west side. So
yeah,
I
it's
take
close.
that back.
They're right
I
on
read
top
the map
of each
wrong.
other.
They
There
are
is a
right
trap
in front of each other.
There is a trap set. Oh, this is dangerous right now. Valak has their sights set.
Crazy.
Definitely. Incoming nades, they connect, but unfortunately no major damage done, and the surprise has been spoiled. So now it's a 2v4.
Neptura pretty hurt. Neptura knocked now. 2v2 situation.
Mango's down as well. It's 1v2?
Nope. Everybody just got eliminated. Dr. Chemist team came in and shut him down.
Impressive stuff here for the Tunnel Tirade. Misty Mayhem will be eliminated. 2 players do make it out to safety, though. The hedge is effective, but they did lose, over 1 million value on that fight. So it wasn't like it was, low risk. That was actually a fair bit of risk, and that's going to be quite a bit of ammunition that's going to transfer hands over to Tunnel Tirade to take it off the map. Hopefully they have space for everything in their inventory. But again, a big victory here. And obviously now with just 2 minutes to go before extract, they are going to be looking to the exits to get the heck off this map again in first place.
After that fight, you could see the massive grin on Dr. Kimmich's face, knowing that his team's coming out of here with all the loot. He looks pretty happy right now.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can see him. They're definitely feeling a bit more relaxed, and it looks like they're heading to the same exact extraction point that the other squad, Misty Mayhem, just used. So they will take their time here and head on out. Looks like they are just about to all make it to the extraction point. And game 2 will come to a close. Our first peek at the Zombie Uprising game mode. We saw zombies, we saw team fights, and ultimately we saw Tunnel Tirade once again at the top of the leaderboard. Over 4 million Metro cash in their pocket to head off this map. They will be the first team to crack 10 million in value. Dab, do we have a runaway here? What is going on with Tunnel Tirade?
We very possibly could have a runaway right here. They're going to be over 10 million ahead, and we still have 3 more matches. Anything can happen. We got the next match is going to be on Misty Port, where it does, the normal Misty Port does have a little bit better loot out in the radiation zone, like with what could possibly come out of the boxes. I mean, it's still anybody's game. The next 2 matches, we could have a whole nother different leader. It all just comes down to how they play it out. But Tunnel Tirade definitely has a big lead right now.
Absolutely. You predicted them at the first part of the match. They do come back with the repeat chicken dinner, and we'll take a peek at the action that went down in game number 2. My pick did finish, I believe, in second place, so we had some good, heads up awareness on the predictions for once, but early on it was a mess. Third parties on third parties, like you alluded to. T-Max having a bit of action here. Bella Fox and Chiffon going back and forth, and Bella Fox connecting at range with an esports pro and getting the better of him. And that was the beginning of the end for Chiffon's squad. Unfortunately for them, Blockade Brigade goes out early for a second game in a row.
Oh, Bella Fox getting caught on the tunnels out in the open, caught lacking. T-Max taking that 1v4 fight that he almost won. He did get 2 knocks. He didn't get to capitalize on it and take out the other 2, unfortunately, but a very respectable fight that he took right there. Standing on business.
Standing on business indeed. I like the fight. Especially like the toes getting shot out underneath that cart. Very impressive stuff from T-Mags. Definitely represented the team well in that one. He definitely wanted that fight back, because that's the moment, right? In shooter games, when you've got yourself a nice little corridor and a whole team lined up in front of you, that's the moment where you're just thinking, oh, this is the clip. This is the highlight,
yeah,
baby.
As a content creator, you're thinking of
exactly. It lined up perfectly for him.
Definitely uploads a lot of squad wipes on his YouTube channel. If you want to check him out at T-Mags Gaming on YouTube.
Nice little Garg flying over the top there. A little fight here from Valak. And again, Misty Mayhem went for the strats, right? Giving the loot over to their 2 players, FaZe GG and Squidge Gaming, to take off the map, but they didn't give them enough. As Valak goes down, as well as Mango, they lose over 1 million Metro cash before extracting, or before failing to extract. And that is a tough one. But Dab, we did talk during the end of that game about all of the new gun skins. We have the new MG3, and we also have a brand new X-Suit. We're going to take a quick break, but while we're on break, check out that new X-Suit that you can find in PUBG Mobile.
Welcome to Metro Royale Rookie Manual. Today, we'll be introducing the Misty Port map. Misty Port was originally a small portside town with a pleasant climate, but a few incidents left it a desolate area that is now restricted. Only two major forces remain, competing for resources. Misty Port's main activity area is 1,700 by 900 square meters. It has rich and complex terrain, and although the urban resource points are scattered, there are many zip lines around the map connecting to the subway line, allowing you to get around quickly. Because of this, Misty Port's overall battle pace is quite fast and intense. The two boss spawn points act as gathering points for battles. Compared to other maps, Misty Port's underground isn't as dark and night vision equipment isn't as necessary. Although the subway line is very long and spans the entire map, those wanting to quickly collect supplies will have to go to the radiation zone, the mine warehouse. The mine warehouse is located in the upper right side of the map. Many mutated enemies lurk there, and the large warehouse lab at the center randomly spawns a mutant boss, Variant F, who uses fire, or Variant P, who spews venom. These mutants guard the warehouse's valuable supplies. Compared to the two previous maps, the high-value sellable items in Misty Port are more common. To quickly get these supplies, you can skip opening crates in the radiation zone and head to the 3 password-locked doors instead. Obtain password letters of the corresponding colors to open them, and obtain the loot within. There are 2 fixed bosses in Misty Port, Firejoy and Fire Roy, that use fire attacks. When challenging them with teammates, spread out as much as possible. Also, be aware that there is chance in each match for the bosses to become reinforced. The bosses can then transform into special bosses that use drones and shields, Handsome Jesse or Handsome Pete. When facing off against them with teammates, make sure to focus your fire. Defeating these powerful enemies provides a chance to get better equipment. That's all for this intro to the Misty Port map. Go explore it yourself. We've added the following new weapons and items to give you a hand against these pesky zombies. First, we have the M134. This new weapon has a large ammo capacity and high rate of fire. Its immense firepower is sure to help you fight your way out of a horde of zombies. However, firing the M134 takes some time to start up, so you need to get your timing right. Up next is the flamethrower. Fire has always been effective against zombies. This weapon's strong frontal firepower can help you wipe out entire waves of them. The flamethrower may be powerful, but its short range makes it more suitable for close-range combat. After using Stealth Serum, you can temporarily avoid detection from zombies. It's an effective evasion method. But remember, if you initiate an attack against a zombie, it will attack back. Lure grenades will attract zombies after being thrown before exploding and dealing damage. It's a great way to disperse zombie swarms. There are special supply crates scattered around the map. Open them to get more supplies, but beware of the zombies that'll come swarming. What's more, you'll obtain more supplies at night than during the day.
Some awesome trailers that we just kind of got a sneak peek at there during the break, as well as the brand new Galadriel X suit. Make sure you guys pick yours up in game. Big shouts to all the players so far. They've crushed it. And you guys can crush it too by downloading PUBG Mobile if you have not already. You can find the links to that in the stream description. We'll see you out here on the battleground for some amazing Metro Royale action. If you haven't followed PUBG Mobile on social media just yet, please do so. Anywhere on social media at PUBG Mobile. Get all the latest and greatest PUBG Mobile news, as well as information on events just like this one, and figure out how you can take part in the fun that is happening in our community. Got to bring back on DabPlays, our co-caster for the evening. Dab, it's been an insane couple of matches first and foremost. Obviously, the Tunnel Tirade's been crushing it, and I want to see how that pans out on the leaderboards. We got those prepped here for our game number 2. How does this look, my friend?
Whoa, 4.6 million for Tunnel Tirade again. Definitely putting him over the 10 million mark for the totals. Misty Mayhem coming in with 2.8 million. That's going to put them, I think on the total, it should put them still just about 4 million behind Tunnel Tirade, give or take a little bit. It's very interesting to see the spread on this match wasn't as crazy as the spread on the last match. A lot of teams are kind of tight here. Team 2, 3, and 4. We got Misty Mayhem, Arctic Allies, and Blockade Brigade. Not too far away from each other as far as the loot value on this match goes, and especially for the Blockade Brigade, they got another. They got 6 eliminations, so that's 600,000. And without those 6 eliminations, it actually would have been very far behind Team 2.
That makes a lot of sense. When you look at the disparity between top team and Tunnel Tirade and the bottom team and Zombie Zenith, only 5 million loot value separates them, whereas last game it was more like 9 million. Let's take a peek at the overall standings now after 2 games of play, and not just over 10 million, not just over 11 million, 12 million loot value right now. Tunnel Tirade is crushing the competition. We've got Misty Mayhem in second place right now with just under 6 mil. Arctic Allies closing in on 5 million. And then it takes a pretty big dip from there with Metro Masters, Blockade Brigade, and Zombie Zenith rounding out the crew. Zombie Zenith still struggling to get positive at this point. Dab, what do they need to do here in our third map, which is Misty Port?
If they're going to have any success on this next match, if they spawn in the West, they need to win these fights. If they lose these early game fights, it might just be GG's for them right here. As we can see, they did spawn in on the West. So they gotta take out Wancho's team there, the Arctic Allies, as well as they have to take out Ares' team, Metro Masters. So
team kind of under the map right there, the black team is who we have our eyes on. That's Tunnel Tirade. Again, these guys are poised to kind of wrap things up, honestly, on this map. If they have another big map right now, it's probably curtains for the lobby. But
we might not see this. They spawned in the West, so.
Exactly. There's a big swing possibility right now where they could be eliminated right now with all of these other squads. Zombie Zenith is hanging around. Arctic Allies and Metro Masters are all in the West right now. And it does seem like there are some shots fired, and that's going to alert some other squads of their presence. Over on the east side, we had the Blockade Brigade and Misty Mayhem spawning in familiar spots right now, and we'll see if they can get off to a similarly good start as they did in round 2.
Yeah, sometimes it could come down to just where you spawn, depending on how long you're going to be in the match. I know when I play this game on a regular basis, spawning in the West is always like, oh boy, here we go. Well, you're either about to fight 3 teams, or you're just going to run and just try to get to radiation and just not have to fight anybody. But if you spawn in the West, you're going to have a rough time at the beginning of the match for sure.
Absolutely.
As you can see, Metro Masters here, they're just going straight to radiation. And I mean, they're kind of a little bit behind on the overall leaderboard, so they really need to maybe not take any fights and just get straight to the good loot.
Absolutely. Heading towards extraction right now. Aries leading the squad. HH24 up there, the esports pro, is also kind of point man here, looking for any enemies or bandits that they can take out. We see him approaching one of the compounds right now. Lots of bandit guards. You can see him highlighted in yellow right there. Those can be a bit pesky sometimes. Talk to us a little bit, Dabs, about the difficulty level of some of these bandits. Are they, something to be afraid of, or is it basically you just got to give your position up in order to fight them?
One of my most viral Metro Royale shorts was getting taken out by a bandit with a shotgun right in the middle of the school right there. The shotgun bandits and the sniper bandits actually do a fair amount of damage. When I got eliminated by the shotgun bandit, I had 75% HP and I was wearing level 6. So
outplayed.
You cannot just walk past them and just think you're going to be fine. Like, they can take you out very easily. The sniper bandits, they don't miss. They will continue hitting you until you take them out, and they will shoot you for miles away. Obviously, they have sniper rifles. So yeah, definitely you cannot just ignore the bandits on this mode at all.
Absolutely not. Blockade Brigade out in the east stumbled onto some big loot. They have shot up to nearly 1 million loot right now as far as Metro Cash is concerned. So they are off to a strong start right now. What is the difference? Obviously, the zombies, but, we played this map last game in match number 2, but there was a zombie uprising. What can we expect in the mid-game here in the absence of, no zombies, I suppose?
We're definitely going to not see anybody worrying about their ammo count, that's for sure. But the thing that's different, as you see the monster that just crawled past Quan Deadshot there, I like to call those the frog dogs. That's what I call them. Because they look like a frog mixed with a dog to me. But these guys are definitely very pests. Like, they can take you out easily. They sit there and just drill your best health down to nothing very quickly.
All right, I'm kind of scared watching this. This isn't my jam, man. These creatures are creepy. They're chasing. Quan Deadshot just jumped off of a ledge. They're all pretty weak. You can see the team
the big ones
is
take
struggling.
a lot of bullets. The big ones take a lot of bullets. The big frog dogs, they take a lot of bullets. I don't know the actual term for them, but...
Oh, no.
Yeah, the big one takes a lot of bullets to take out. And as you can see, Houston King, he's knocked, and they might not get a chance to revive them if they do not take out these monsters right here.
He's blocked. WPGN is going down, and he does go down. It's all up to one player. Shifon, the esports pro, is being chased by multiple frog dogs. This is not how they were hoping to start this game off. They had so much
loot. They probably would have rather had zombies chasing them than these things. Now, if he gets on the roof right there, he could have just held them off with the ledge and shot them, but... Oh, hopefully he can get back there. If he takes out the big one, he'll be fine. It's the big one that does the most damage. Oh, taking out the big one. Nice. That's good. He can at least hopefully get one of them up. Oh, he's got another big one. Okay, he takes him out.
Oh, huge.
Good reset. Hopefully he can get up Houston King Boy before he bleeds out.
No, wrong guy, wrong guy.
No,
oh,
he hit
no.
the pickup button.
No! Oh, tragedy strikes the blockade brigade. 2 members down. Shifon decides rather than saving Houston, he's going to hoist Quan Deadshot onto his broad shoulders and do a squat.
We've all been there.
It will go down for the blockade brigade. They went from 2 million in loot to negative 100K. They're on the struggle bus.
We've all been there where you're stressed out so much in the situation that you accidentally press the pickup button. We've all been there. It's definitely a rough thing when it happens.
Oh man, that was the highlight of the night for me so far, and that's not the highlight that Shifon was hoping for, but a good laugh it's good for at the minimum. And we've got an interesting engagement at the exact same spot in the tunnels. Nades are out and pressuring the Zombie Zenith squad. Will they connect? Just a bit short here. And it is about to pop off between Misty Mayhem, Zombie Zenith. Both of these squads desperately need this squad fight to go their way.
Yeah, Zombie Zenith being all the way at the very bottom of the overall leaderboard, they have to win this fight.
Mollies are making it very difficult for each squad to progress. The pursuit has become next to impossible for the Misty Mayhem squad. They're just going to continue to be content with throwing grenades down the hallway here as Zombie Zenith just trying to make it out. Looks like T-Mag's just about to get back into the fight. All 4 players back up for Zombie Zenith, but they will try to make their escape and live to fight another day here. Pretty good defense there, Dab, as far as all the mollies out on the ground and, you know, kind of holding off that push from Misty Mayhem. They really needed it. They were able to,
definitely makes a big block. I mean, that's one amazing thing about the kind of the way how the mollies spread is it really only takes one molly to block off a push or anything in the tunnels. So if you have a few mollies, you can hold them off for a little while.
Absolutely.
And I mean, nobody's going to push.
A few mollies there.
Nobody's going to push through smoke either, because like the second you come out on the other side of that smoke, there's so many areas that you have to look at, and especially if there's 4 players on the tracks, like you're just going to get beamed the second you come out of the smoke. So definitely a good play to use their tacticals and just kind of reset.
Not over yet. Valak still lingering around, connects with a few shots, and it looks like Zombie Zenith patched up now and starting to push their way back up the tunnel. But I don't know if that's the best idea here. They have a full squad with MK14s waiting for them. Angles, hard cover, the whole works, and perhaps even some more grenades here in just a moment. We'll find out shortly. No, nice connection with Valak there. He's down to 1 HP.
Yeah, with Zombie Zenith trying to get out to Radiation and get loot, they have to go through Misty Mayhem to get out there. Misty Mayhem is literally holding the door to Radiation right now. And if Zombie Zenith wanted to turn around and go the other way, they would have a pretty big rotation to try to get to the other door, and I don't think it's worth it for them to take it. They literally have to win this fight.
What do you think the odds are of winning a fight in a tunnel where, you know, you've got a squad holding angles, hard cover,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
really hard because Misty Mayhem, they have the hard cover down here with the doorways they can sit in, and you've got the wooden areas and stuff too as well. So when when Zombie Zenith is pushing them, they only have a little, like, what would you call this? A bend. They're holding a bend, which
yeah, I'm gonna go with a dog leg. If you're gonna call
Yeah.
it frog dogs, this is the dog leg. We're gonna go
like-
with that.
There's only one area that Misty Mayhem has to focus on, whereas Zombie Zenith has to focus on the left and the right side of the tunnel. So, I mean, depending on where the fight's happening at in the tunnel, there is definitely a team that's going to have an upper hand. It looks like they're thinking about turning around and going the other way, because they definitely know they're wasting time right here. The more they sit here and try to take this fight and run down their consumables, it's just more time that they don't get to be out in radiation picking up the loot that they desperately need at this point.
They really do. They just got rid of a lot of loot value with those throwables as well. And you know, you gotta think that they probably threw most of their utility just trying to stay alive. You know, that first part of the encounter ultimately got patched up, made their way back down the hallway, tried to engage again, but again with the hard cover, the angles, people on both sides of that tunnel, Misty Mayhem easily able to defend and even pick up another knock. And you saw the second that team hit the ground, Zombie Zenith, we saw the push back up the tunnels from Misty Mayhem, unable to actually get the finish, but, you know, easily able to defend here. And Zombie Zenith has no choice but to turn around and try to find another way. That's a big, big dent in their hopes to start, you know, amassing a lot of loot value here. But you can see up at the top, we've got another big clash kind of brewing.
Yeah, we got Metro Masters out there. We got the Tunnel Tirades out there. We've got the Blockade Brigade out there.
So a battle of levels here, it looks like. We've got Ares and his squad up on top of the building. We've got one team down on the main level here. It's the Tunnel Tirade. And then the tunnels themselves are the Misty Mayhem down below. But all three of these teams could be clashing any moment.
Yeah, I mean, Tunnel Tirade is holding the side that Misty Mayhem is about to be entering on, so we might see Tunnel Tirade get pinched right here, and their lead could be very shortened after this match if they don't win their fight right here.
You know, Misty Mayhem is in second place right now, and I don't know if they know who is who or, you know, if they've seen any knocks that have revealed any sort of, like, team information. But if they do figure out that it is the Tunnel Tirade that is right next to them, that would be a big swing of loot, and one that Misty Mayhem is definitely hoping for.
Yeah, I mean, the second you know you knock the Tunnel Tirade member, you're definitely going to get fired up and want to take the push to just get him out.
100%. I think they have to at this point, too. I mean, you're not going to get a lot of opportunities served up on a platter with a third party kind of pinching them at the same time. So the second you know, you just got to shift your focus. You know, they don't know that Zombie Zenith is fully gone at this point. You know, they've got to assume they probably took a different way. But they could be lurking still. They could be lingering. And just like that, Tunnel Tirade does go down. They do get pinched. Misty Mayhem will get the eliminations to finish them off, and they will be stacking up the loot. This could be the gap that they were looking for to close the gap on the number one team.
Yeah, it looks like Metro Masters got half of those elims too, so they split the points from that, which both teams need the points, so it's good for them. But they have to fight each other now, so.
Yeah, the key, though, is that Misty Mayhem was sitting on top of the loot.
Oh, no.
But the Metro Masters are not going to allow them to get it freely. They're going to fight for it.
Only NRI Gaming and Valak left for Misty Mayhem. The P90 putting in work right there. As I was saying earlier, the close range fights, the P90 is the new king.
Absolutely.
The bullets just fly faster. They hit, and they fly.
A huge swing of events right now. Tunnel Tirade obviously getting their hopes and the winds and their sails kind of deflated a little bit, but Valak and Misty Mayhem had an opportunity to close the majority of the gap between first and second place, but unfortunately for them, Metro Masters had other plans, and it looks like Metro Masters will be the ones to actually come out of this fight ahead, getting the majority of the loot. Valak does survive. Misty Mayhem isn't eliminated at this point, but they're also negative 1.2 million in loot, and, you know, he probably won't pick up much that was dropped by the Tunnel Tirade squad.
Now, Valak is a pro player, so there is a potential he could run out there and just 1v4 him and definitely take all that loot back, but only time will tell. This is definitely a crazy swing of events as Tunnel Tirade knocked out with negative 3 million. So that's going to knock their 12 million down quite a bit. As you see, some of the other teams that are in the bottom ranks going to be moving their way up. Metro Masters and Zombie Zenith at least not sitting negative right now, which is pretty good for them. They've had a kind of a rough start to tonight. So it's very, very nice to see a swing in the story.
Absolutely. So this is big swing of events, as you mentioned. And I'm excited again to see how this affects the overall scoreboard. Remember, they were sitting at just over 12 million cash after 2 games. That's going to come down to 9-ish million. Second place was, I believe, Misty Mayhem at around 5.6 million. And they've lost 1 million off that total. So it's not like they're gaining a ton. At this moment, Valak could play the hero at this point in time. And he's in a position to do so. He's still kind of chilling, kind of quiet up there. He could catch some people off guard. And as you can see, Metro Mayhem on the map is fairly split, which does give Valak the opening to have 1v1s and 1v2s, which he's fully capable of winning.
Now, one of the crazy things that I just realized is we talked about Metro Royale esports coming in 2025. The difference between regular classic esports is when a team in classic esports gains points, they don't just lose them the next match. So something crazy will be happening in Metro esports is that you could potentially, like we're seeing now, be seeing teams doing really well at the beginning of a day or something, and by the end of the day, if there's negative points, like that's gonna be crazy different in the 2 different esports programs. It's like you can also lose points as you play throughout the day. So
it gives a whole new meaning to like consistency. You know what I mean? Like in traditional play, it's like consistency really kind of means doing good on a good amount of the times, right? Like consistency in Metro Royale means don't do bad. You know what I mean? Like if you could stay alive, then you're good. It's like a whole different like perspective on the word consistency. Excited to see how that plays out for sure.
We see Zombie Zenith and Arctic Allies possibly about to have a fight here. They're setting up on each other. It's good to see T-Mag still alive. This is about to be I think a 4v2 situation going on here.
T-Mags, you got to say something to your man, Dabs. He's getting wild. He's getting wild. He's going to watch this back and not know what to think anymore, man. Are we actually friends? What's going on?
I feel like if you're true friends with somebody, you should be able to, you can joke with them. So
it's
me
like
and T-Mags are
right
thick
now,
as
baby.
thieves. T-Mags is actually one of my moderators all the way back from 2018. He was honestly one of my very first viewers. Back before he was even a content creator and anything, so really proud to see where he's come.
T-Max just got his toes shot off. He got spotted out there by Zombie Zenith, it looks like, and the fight has begun. Becky Gaming lobbing a few shots here, and like you said, the ammo not an issue. 700 rounds in the bag, ready to go downrange. Yamna gets connected with here, but not before T-Max takes some return fire off the rooftop here. He's going to have to patch himself up. The throwables seem to be not exchanging hands as often in this outer world as it was like in the tunnels, man. The tunnels teams were fighting and it was just like, here, eat 47 grenades immediately. And here it's a lot more about the gunplay.
Yeah, this is where the MK comes in versus the P90s. There's going to be a lot of long-range fights out on Misty Port. If you're not in the tunnels, it's definitely some long-range fights. It looks like Wancho is meeting back up with the team. He was trying to take an angle on Fate there a minute ago, but it looks like he changed his mind. Fate and Killshot making their way down the pier to where the lighthouse is. I think they're going to try to cross over the lighthouse and get an angle. Yamna getting knocked. That's not good. It looks like Taf Garcia might go for the res there. And one knock is not worth taking the push, so let him get the reset. Looks like Killshot is low.
Really good angles here coming in from T-Mags and the Arctic Ally, or not the Arctic Ally, Zombie Zenith rather. Going up against Arctic Allies right now. The knock has been confirmed up on that rooftop. Taf Garcia going for the revive. Does get it, and Yamna immediately retreats here. T-Max on the push, gets taken down, and just like that, things start to swing the other way as both flanks have losses. Fate down, but Killshot able to take out Wancho on the push, perhaps getting a bit overconfident.
The pros are down. Killshot thirsting Wancho. And Taf trying to figure out where that came from.
Where are they? Where could they be?
One more ledge. Just one more ledge. Oh, Killshot piecing it.
No. Taf somehow makes it away, but this is not looking good Fate did not get the revive, and kill shot now down. It all comes down to this. I believe it's just T-Mags. That is still, it's T-Mags and Bella over on the flank. They're going to try to lend support. They're able to get there in time to cut off Taff Garcia, but unfortunately, Yamna already makes the crossing, picks up the confirms, and just like that, Arctic Allies will turn the tide in this fight to their favor, and it's a 2v1, or excuse me, a 3v2 at this point in Arctic Allies' favor.
It looks like Bella and T-Mags are maybe going to make a far right flank. Or they're just going to back out of here, realizing that they honestly have lost a lot of loot at this point. Negative 1.5 million. Oh, they should have just taken the rotation in the tunnels and went out to radiation the other way, but...
Absolutely. Tough breaks for the Zombie Zenith squad this round. They got a bit split, too. They had a 2-2 split going on, and unfortunately for them, they lost both flank players at the same time and really couldn't provide support. Both of the angles that would have given support normally were in the middle of reviving, and just too much momentum in the favor of Arctic Allies. But really the story here, it hasn't been on camera in the past few minutes. It's the Metro Masters, 5.5 million Metro cash already in their pocket. 10 minutes to go until the extraction point, but they're the only team left with a full squad, and they've got a 4 million cash lead right now in first place for the round. They're trying to make a significant dent in the overall leaderboard because, again, Dab, if you recall, 12 million loot for Tunnel Tirade. There is an 8.7 million loot disparity right now between Metro Masters and the Tunnel Tirade. So a massive gap has been closed here so far.
And
negative
-3 million
out like
plus
this.
5 million,
This is gonna
definitely.
be huge.
Now, as I said earlier, I mean, Ares is definitely one of the best players to play on Mistyport. He's been #1 in the USA leaderboard several times, and his #1 strategy is speed looting the radiation zone on Mistyport, like you see him doing now, and popping a flare and leaving. There's a lot of people in the Metro Royale community that try to hold some sort of leaderboard spot, whether it be the world leaderboard and the region leaderboard, whatever you have your flag set to in the game. And definitely the #1 strategy is what Ares is doing right now. And I kind of called it earlier. He's definitely going to be the strongest player in Mistyport.
Over 6 million now for Metro Masters. That's a 9 million point, gain essentially on Tunnel Tirade at this point. And I got the feeling they're not even done yet. The reality is these other squads that they could potentially run into are not going to be super keen to take a fight, given that none of them are at full strength at the moment. There's 2s, 1s, and 3 squad members left in Arctic Allies, Misty Mayhem, and Zombie Zenith. So Metro Masters, this is their time to shine and their time to put up massive points on this leaderboard. And the herd is not done being thin just yet.
They're not done fighting.
They are still going at it over here. Yamna back at it with Bella Fox, and T-Mags down on that off angle. So it's up to Bella right now as the sole surviving member of Zombie Zenith to get this dub. Does she got what it takes here, Dabs? She gonna get it done?
I've seen Bella pull off some crazy clutches before. I think she can do it.
I'm rooting for her. I hope it goes. We got all the we got Taff on one side. We got Yamna. Quite a lot of girls repping right now on the battlegrounds. We'll see if they can get it.
Yeah,
done.
you can. I've been watching a lot of Bella Fox's content lately, and she's definitely been growing like crazy on her YouTube channel. If you haven't, make sure you go check her out at Bella Fox. And everybody else here in today's tournament, you just search up their name on YouTube or TikTok, and
there it is. I was hoping she was gonna peek. I was like, shoot her. She's crawling away. Becky isolated on the outskirts right now. Good lean peek. Pushes Bella back just a bit, but she's kind of even the odds right now. She's got players isolated where 1v1 fights are possible on both sides, but she's got to take one and commit quick here before they can support each other. They don't have the angles right now. Becky on the push. Bella has the high ground here, and nades are drawn. And if Becky can get over the top here, the tables could turn very quickly on Bella.
oh no, is that a caster curse?
Well, kind of predicted that might happen with the going over the top, but it was tough. I would have loved to have seen her hold the high ground there, push the action again, trying to keep those players separated from one another, but they were able to close ground, both of them on the push. Got to the point to where they did have the ability to support one another, but ultimately Becky didn't need the support. able to pick up the clean 1v1 from the top. And just like that, Zombie Zenith out once again, and they will be down to 3.3 million loot in the hole. Not what they were hoping for, and it all comes down now to Metro Masters, Arctic Allies, and Misty Mayhem. Again, Misty Mayhem needs 1 million just to get back into the positive for this round. Valak, I don't think he's moved. He's in the exact same spot as last time we saw him.
He might just be waiting for somebody to make a mistake and run out in front of him.
Looks like he's finally on the march over there, but Valak has been posted up. He's going to hop onto the rail car here and get himself out of the tunnels. But yeah, he was chilling, just waiting for somebody to leave. And unfortunately for him, that does not happen. I admire the commitment to the camp, though. You know, just waiting for somebody to come around that corner. Perhaps he's got an S12K. He doesn't. It looks like he's got the MK and the P90. But both of those very capable close-range weapons as well. But unfortunately for him, for the second time today, his strategies will not pay off, but, you know, he's in the right place, and unfortunately the teams have just gone the other direction.
Maybe he's rotating to the other exit, thinking that they're going to leave from the other exit, so if he can hold them off and take a 1v4, which is totally possible for any pro player.
It really just comes down to, you know, where's the focus of the team members. If they're playing together, you're not going to get the 1v4 done. But if you've got, you know, kind of 2 players over here, 2 players kind of not really in a place where they can support, I think a 1v2 is completely possible. You know, you get a quick, unexpected knock, and then you're just basically in a 1v1.
Yeah, I mean, every person on Metro Masters is definitely a sweaty player. Aries being a really well-known Metro player. Angry Hoser streaming every day. He's really good at playing classics. And then HH24, obviously being a pro player. And then Fake Dream, he's in my community. He's been in one of my events, and he's done nothing but clutch up every time I've ever watched him. So it would definitely be interesting to see Valak take a 1v4 and win it there.
Absolutely. No slouches at all on this team, as you mentioned. Seen a lot of them around the community myself. Long time competitors in these events, and always seem to perform well as we get down to 4 minutes to go in the lobby. These teams are starting to extract right now. Arctic Allies fully out at this point, and it comes down to Valak and the Metro Masters. That is all that we have on the battlegrounds right now. So Metro just padding their stats at this moment, and Valak is going to try to make a miracle happen.
I think if Metro Masters doesn't have a flare gun, they really need to start making their way to extract right now, because if you wait too long, there's just no chance. So hopefully they have a flare gun. It seems like they do if they're still sitting out here right now. Or maybe nobody's paying attention to the timer, but depending on which extract they have, it looks like 1,000 meters. They're both 1,000 meters away. So if they're going to run to the extract, they need to leave right now. Oh, HH24 pulling out the flare gun. All right.
Well, looks like it's all under control for the Metro Masters. I think that they will be just fine here with that flare gun. Again, down to 3 minutes to go. And Valak has extracted at this point. Misty Mayhem out of the map, but that is going to confirm Metro Masters are going to make up 9 million points on our leaders tunnel tirade. I don't know if it will be enough to overtake them, as there was quite a big gap, but again, tremendous progress, and it ensures at least a 2-team race going into our final couple of maps. Again, we're back to Zombie Uprising next, so it's anyone's game still.
I can't wait to see the overall leaderboard here after that one. I mean, Tunnel Tirade losing 3.1 million and Metro Masters coming off on a whole bunch right there. We could see a massive shakeup on the overall leaderboard.
We'll definitely get to calculating those totals. I'm sure we've got people punching in all the numbers in the background, but Dab, reaction. We saw, again, the spawn points on the west. It led to some early fighting. Once again, we saw some teams over on the east kind of get away pretty easy. But again, I feel like this all came down to the fights in the tunnels. We saw, again, kind of some teams being blocked, some teams posting up, kind of camping it, just making sure that their enemies could not overtake their position. What stood out to you in this this third game as we take a peek at our replay package?
I'm sure it's about to be in the replay here, but oh, yep, here we go. This team getting taken out, the Blockade Brigade getting taken out by the Frog Dogs is definitely the highlight of the match. And Chiffon accidentally pressing the pick up button. As you see right here, they even put it in slow-mo. They did him dirty. Hitting the pickup button as opposed to the res button definitely kind of killed things for that team.
Absolutely. We got the mollies on the ground. Again, I love to see the fighting happening early on in this one with the nades. The defense is clutch. Fox 1K goes down to an unfortunate throwable there. But this right here was the turning point. I thought Misty Mayhem had an opportunity. They got the pinch on the Tunnel Tirade and took him out. They went for the loot, but I don't know that they realized how much of a pinch was on because Metro Masters put the pedal to the metal and forced the action. They caught Misty Mayhem with their pants down and ultimately secured a ton of loot, a huge point swing, and it was Metro Masters capitalizing rather than Misty Mayhem.
Yeah, when we were watching that fight, I saw Aries pushing up really, really, really hard. He's super aggressive when it comes to any Misty Port fights. As I said, he's kind of the Metro Master, if you will, at Misty Port for sure. Poor Bella getting taken out.
There's them Frog Dogs getting taken down as well. See a little coordinated extract here from our leaders. It is our Metro Masters putting 6.5 million loot value towards their total. That is a massive, massive score right here. And again, looks like Zombie Zenith will lose 535k. Tunnel Tirade only losing just the 1,000 loot, it looks like, on their total. As they did pick up a elim to add 100k. So again, not as much of a gap close as we were hoping for, but we'll take a peek at what that overall situation actually looks like. Let's see the leaderboards here. It is Tunnel Tirade still on top, but boy, we got a game because there are 3 other teams that are very firmly in this one. Metro Masters sitting in second place at 8 million, Misty Mayhem in third with 7 million, and Arctic Allies close behind in fourth at 6.5 million. Dab, what do you make of the overalls here?
I'm really excited to see that 3 other teams, Metro Masters, Misty Mayhem, and Arctic Allies, actually had not that bad of a match that run. Coming out with a pretty decent amount of extracted loot and kind of closing the gap with Tunnel Tirade. I mean, we couldn't let them run away with all the money tonight, as they're, you could be making anywhere from $100 tonight to a few thousand. So excited to see the story getting shaken up a little bit here.
Absolutely. We've had, big games from Tunnel Tirade and Metro Masters, and that's going to vault them, obviously, to their spots on the leaderboard. But consistency has been the name of the game for Arctic Allies, as well as Misty Mayhem, Blockade Brigade, and Zombie Zenith, still trying to get things going. Ultimately, they've been wiped pretty early in every game tonight. They're going to try to turn things around. I have a feeling here in our 4th game of the night. It is back to Zombie Uprising. We'll be back on Misty Port. And again, that means no more Frog Dogs. Is that right, Dab?
Yeah, it's unfortunately, there's no Frog Dogs on the Zombie Uprising. And the reason why I called them Frog Dogs, I kind of wanted to point it out, is on the OG old blockade zone that we're going to be seeing for the very last match, they're out in radiation. There is actual dogs. And the reason why we call the Misty Port the Frog Dogs is because Misty Port is what came out after old blockade zone. And we really didn't know what to call them. Like, they still kind of were dogs, but they kind of look like frogs. So call them Frog Dogs.
I think I'm clear on why they're called Frog Dog. They kind of look like a frog and a dog. I mean, it makes sense. I appreciate its ingenuity at its finest. Predictions, though, my friend. Obviously, we've seen the Tunnel Tirade squad do pretty well, but they lost that round, got pinched, and ultimately Metro Mayhem having the last laugh on this particular round. Predictions, though, for game number 4. Will it be Tunnel Tirade again, as they did win our last Zombie Uprising match?
So since there's 6 teams on Misty and Zombie Uprising, there could be the potential, like, there's 4 that spawn in the west and 2 that spawn in the east. Now, if Tunnel Tirade isn't one of those teams that spawn in the east and get kind of an easy path to the radiation zone, we could see them getting cut down really, really early, and maybe they actually might lose the lead in the next one. Like you said, consistency is the game. So hopefully, even if they do spawn in the west, they win their fight and get out to radiation.
Well, my prediction is this. I think Arctic Allies are going to take this one. They're going to, 8 million loot is going to be the bar that they're going to clear this game. Juancho is going to lead the way. He's aggressive. He had the push last game against the Zombie Zenith squad, and it just didn't work out. He tried to cover too much ground with no cover, and he got mowed down. But that won't happen again. Juancho is going to get it done, and Yamna is going to continue her loot fest. She's been clutch today with that. and I'm expecting the Arctic Allies here to emerge victorious after our 4th map. I don't know if that's going to be the case or not, but I'm convicted. I'm going to say I'm going to will it into existence. We're just going to manifest it, Dab, and that will be the result in Game 4. I don't know if it works like that or not, but we'll see. Anything to look out for as far as these squads? If you had to like give them some advice, you know, from your perspective, what would you be telling them as they walk into this game?
Oh, the very next match, if I was playing in this, I wouldn't take a single fight. Only if I had to. If it was life or death, I'd take the fight, but I would be getting straight out to radiation. I'd have one person holding each entrance. The second they hear footsteps, we stop all looting and go directly to that entrance and hold it. And once you are having that kind of fight out in radiation, you don't want it to linger on. As you can see, when the fight lingers on, that just gives another team a chance to come and pinch you or come and just be the nasty third-party thorn in the side. So definitely need to have some people on the lookout, and you gotta close those fights down quickly and get the high ground on top of the lab again before somebody else zip ups there on the zip line and you're kind of pinched and caught out in the open. So I would definitely tell teams to get out to radiation, loot, and take their fights as quick as possible.
I like the strats there, and this is what you were talking about with as soon as you scout somebody and see them holding those angles, rotating quickly, making sure that they, see the resistance, right? They're like, oh, maybe we can't push this and take it. I think that's going to be super, super clutch as we look towards more competitive esports in the future. Holding those angles, making sure you don't get backdoored. All of that's going to be incredibly interesting to watch. The high ground at the lab has been a key vantage point now in both Misty Port games, and I expect it to be one here in our 3rd Misty Port game of the evening as well. We'll see if that ends up being the case, but I'm curious also if Misty Mayhem is going to get a West Coast spawn this time. They've been kind of comfortable over on the East so far, but I want to see some different squads kind of thrown into the action. That meat grinder of the West Coast, it seems like it's Arctic Allies and the Zombie Zenith going at it early on and throughout the whole game each and every time. Maybe we can mix things up this time around.
Yeah, hopefully Zombie Zenith actually gets to put some points on the board, and I don't have to make fun of my friend T-Mags later.
Well, yeah, we know that you can do that, absolutely. I'm taking a peek at some of the other notes I have for, the new mode. We've got a couple of new weapons on the map as well. Not like necessarily new weapons, but new minigun. Though the M134 is now taking 7.62 ammo. That's something we can keep an eye on, hopefully, as we head into the later maps tonight. And then obviously the flamethrower, which I don't know if we saw in our 2nd game on the zombie mode, but I'm hoping that we can see that in action here in our 4th game.
That'd be pretty sweet. The flamethrower is honestly the best way to make sure that you don't waste all of your bullets trying to take out a horde of zombies. The flamethrower, you can just obviously spray into the pack, hits them all at once, takes them all out, and doesn't waste your bullets, because you need those bullets when you're taking later fights. And I would rather have bullets to take a fight than a flamethrower to flame at actual enemies that are going to shoot at you. So yeah, hopefully we see it as well.
Absolutely. We're getting ready for our 4th game, getting the players loaded up. We got to chase down just a couple of more players. They're being naughty. Who knows what's going on? But I want to talk a little bit about most valuable players. I don't know if we have an official MVP for the evening, but has there been any players that specifically have kind of caught your eye as being like, this dude's got it going on tonight, like making plays, obviously guy or girl, anybody out there really kind of like, we should be keeping an eye on them?
All right, obviously, Dr. Chemist from the Tunnel Tirade, just leading his team for most of these matches in the correct direction, doing the right thing, making the right plays, making the right moves. Just absolutely holding it down for Tunnel Tirade. And I can't just say one, because also Aries has been doing really well for the Metro Masters, making the calls, and just trying to stay overall consistent, which is why they're in 2nd place right now. Potential that they could overturn. But yeah, with the next match being on Zombie Uprising, so on Misty Port, we probably will see Aries absolutely just dominating it again. But yeah, definitely Aries and Dr. Chemist, really strong players in today's tournament.
Amazing, and we did not get our wish. It will be Misty Mayhem on that East Coast. Once again, they'll have a free shot at going at that radiation zone. We'll see how they deal with it this time, and it will be a similar group of squads over on the West Coast battling it out once again, but at least the Arctic Allies will catch a break right now. As far as my MVPs for the evening, you mentioned a couple of them. I got my eyes on Dr. Chemist and Aries. I think both of those guys have really crushed tonight. T-Max has actually had a decent night, while unfortunately his squad has been eliminated. He's had some pretty standout moments, and also Yamna has been crushing for her squad, the Arctic Allies.
Definitely.
So keep an eye on that.
Definitely
And,
clean looter with Yamna.
100%. We got an early fight. Once again, Blockade Brigade, they cannot escape these early fights right now, and they are on the brink once again.
T-Mags and Bella Fox holding back, not wanting to get too heavy into the fight. Chiffon has to get the res on Quan Deadshot, so he's gonna push up and try to hold off at least them getting the thirst.
Got some good angles being held here by these teams. They are close together right now, so really they're hoping that Killshot doesn't get caught out. Not in a great spot to support him right now. Houston's gonna have an angle. And Chiffon is kind of spread as well. So ultimately, neither team has great tactical positioning here, and they're going to try to make the best of it. But ultimately, Blockade Brigade down a member and trying to not be down 2 at this point. But it looks like they might be content to just survive and leave poor Quan Deadshot here to his own devices.
Unfortunately, they are definitely not walking away from this without taking the fight. One team's getting eliminated right here for sure. There's no path that you leave from here that you don't get shot in the back. So it's really not an option for him at this point. They have to take the fight. A nice cooked nade on T-Mags. Wasn't cooked long enough. He saw it coming.
Yeah, I was able to quickly avert his path and get to safety. He will get pushed right here, but able to back off, grab an angle. Bella Fox overwatching right now, and she's not even going to need to. Houston Kingboy knocked and finished just like that. Quan Deadshot about to leave out, and once again, for a second game in a row, it's all up to Chiffon, and he does not have angles. He's eliminated, and early out again are the Blockade Brigade. They will be losing some loot here, and unfortunately for them, just not adding anything to their total. Things are looking bleak right now as they have just one game to try to claw their way back into the prize money.
Hey, this is a turn of the tides for Zombie Zenith, though. Winning a fight, actually getting to make it further into the match as not a whole team, but at least a trio. And
see if that loot value
they'll make their way out.
Up.
Yeah. They are 1 million behind right now, so... Or 1 million from neutral... What would you call it? Like default, or...
Yeah, we'll just call it 0.
0, yeah, 0.
That's a good term.
I forgot
for
that
it.
number existed.
I mean, is it a number though? I mean, I don't know. Got a bad. Yeah, we got a bad deal right now though for Zombie Zenith. They made it out of one fight, but they've got a problem on their hands. Got Ares and Fake Dream overwatching right now. It doesn't look like they're gonna be in gate. Well, maybe. Because they've got players on the flank right now as well, but they get caught. Not sure who's shooting them. It could be a third party here. It is. It's the Tunnel Tirade off to the side. And that is why they backed off. They're going to have to go try to support HH24 caught out right now. And it is all or nothing right now for these two squads. These are the top 2 on your leaderboards. It is a Tunnel Tirade and Metro Masters doing battle.
It's all up to Fake Dream and Ares for Metro Masters.
Man, that's a scary zombie.
Yeah, that's the one that I was saying is really scary, but I was telling you about earlier. Now that one is extremely fast. It hits really fast. The Skinners do a decent amount of damage. You do not want to mess with those.
So Metro Masters, their hopes taking a big dent right here because not only did they lose 2 and quite a bit of loot, they lost to Tunnel Tirade, which is a team they're trying to catch right now. Big fight win for Tunnel Tirade, and it doesn't look like they're done yet. They're rotating around where they're going to be able to pinch Zombie Zenith right now, and that is trouble for them. This is just a big mess right now. Again, all of these Western teams fighting early, but great tactical play and positioning from Tunnel Tirade.
And it's another one of those moments where Ares and Dream can't really make a rotation leaving. I mean, if they use smokes, they can, but the thing about Misty Port is there's a lot of out in the open areas. I mean, you do have these massive trees to grab for cover, but there's a lot of open areas, so I mean, trying to leave from a fight after you've already engaged sometimes can be pretty tough.
Bella's just creeping right now, just trying to stay quiet here. She's aware
Playing it
they
real
are
safe.
being watched. You can see those zombies chasing somebody. She knows somebody's up there. She knows exactly where they're at. She's just got to chuck that grenade. And I don't know if she's got the arm on her. You can see Fox K jumps down. Bella's got an opportunity.
Yeah,
here
being
to make
crouched,
this.
you can't really throw too far. If she would have stood up, she totally could have thrown that.
I think this is the moment where Zombie Zenith needs to pounce, man. They're dealing with all of these zombies. The squad's clearly split, and they have an opportunity, but if they allow them to clear all the zombies and then also their teammates to regroup, they're going to be the ones that end up getting pinched, because you can see Baton working up from the rear right now.
Yeah, and the zombie Uprising, they're in the dawn portion right now, so it's the sun's about to go down. They're having to take out some zombies right now, but here in a moment, they're going to be getting absolutely swamped by the zombies.
Now, is there any benefit to being in cover during the nighttime? Like, is that helpful for the zombies, or do they find their way in there and it's tough to even maneuver around?
No, they are really smart. They find their way in there, but when it comes to fighting zombies and also fighting other players, I would rather fight the zombies from inside a building. That a player can't just be 300 meters off and zip me with an MK and 3 shots, because you're most likely not going to be at full health if you're fighting the zombies too. So I definitely always want to fight zombies from cover. That's going to be your best bet to just not have a rough time.
Baton definitely has an idea of where Bella Fox is. The nade is out, and it does not connect, but the push is on. And just like that, Bella eliminated, and that will be it for the Zombie Zenith, and they are out of the lobby. So two teams fully eliminated.
3.4. Be interesting to see the map, because Metro Masters, they did have Fake Dream and Ares kind of creeping around the edges of this fight right here, and I'm wondering if they just decided to go ahead and take off towards Radiation. As you can see, it's now set towards nighttime, so there's going to be lots of zombies chasing these guys. You got the zombie dogs.
The dogs.
The actual dogs.
It's when you mix a dog with a dog, and then you get a dog.
You own a dog in real life, Powerbang?
I do. I have 2 of them.
Yeah, I've got a pit bull as well.
Oh,
There we go. That would be the second boss that spawns at this location. They waited the timer out, and they're now getting to fight the second boss. Yamna Gaming, Yamna, Becky, Tap Garcia, and Wancho have really been prioritizing loot outside of Radiation in all of these matches, I've noticed.
Arctic Allies is going according to plan right now. They're going towards that 8 million loot, kind of. They just need to take out Misty Mayhem here in just a bit, and my predictions will all come true. No caster curse here.
It possibly could, PB.
Definitely running out of loot, though, to actually take a hold of right now, given that 2 of the squads are eliminated. But they are starting to accumulate quite a bit. Misty Mayhem, again, out in front right now, having a big game, and that's massive for the leaderboard implications. Remember, they're sitting just about 4 million or so back from the lead at the moment, and you know, they're right there. So we'll see how this pans out. They can finish strong.
Yeah, if they take out Metro or Misty Mayhem and get that 4 million, they could actually be in #1 spot for the last match.
Absolutely. Look at the ammo on Fox 1K. This man is packing.
Well, I mean, they did take out a couple of people there. They got 5 eliminations under the belt, so they definitely stole a whole bunch of consumables. I mean, I'm sure they don't only just have all that ammo, but they got all the throwables that people didn't use and everything, so they could be sitting on loads of tacticals and lethals too.
That's a lot of rounds into that zombie. Valek's about to get eaten here.
Valek's about to run out of ammo as well.
And not quite the same story on the ammo side for Misty Mayhem, who is sitting in the top spot right now. You can see as they chew through the ammunition, their loot value is just plummeting.
I think with the amount of loot that they have on the leaderboard, they've probably not looted all of the radiation zone. So I think that Tunnel Tirade and Arctic Allies, and even the duo from Metro Masters, still has a chance to get out there. They're going to be out there for a little while longer, so they definitely have a chance. It looks like we might see a fight coming from Metro Masters and Arctic Allies here in a moment. They're not that far away, one at the construction site and the other team at the mansion. Any shooting that's happening right now, I was kind of talking about this earlier. If anybody pops a single shot, they know about each other, because that's close enough within earshot to know. So it looks like Metro Masters is looting up the mansion, or excuse me, the Mason. I always call it the mansion because it looks like a mansion. If you loot all of this building, there actually is probably about $1 or $2 million worth of loot right here. That's
insane.
It's got 3 floors. It's got a second story. It's got the first story, and then it's got a basement that has a bunch of loot. But they've got to kill these zombies, so they know about each other definitely because of the zombie eliminations happening right now.
Definitely seemed like Juancho and the squad is headed that way, though. They were headed towards the Maison, and we'll see if they connect. I don't know. They're starting to head to the southwest now, which is not quite the same direction, but I'm hoping they actually find each other. It seems like everybody's kind of preoccupied with zombies at the moment, but as soon as dawn arrives, I think you're going to see a shift in priorities right now. Again, a lot of loot out there to be had.
I think there's about a minute and a half left of the zombies, so if they can survive, we might see a fight. We might see a really sweaty fight. Look at all those zombies. Oh, that's so many. They're running out of bullets. They can't take them all out. You kind of have to keep some of them alive.
Got Yamna still going after all that loot. We'll see. Zombies in hot pursuit right now. There they are. Yamna and Becky trying to make the loot all-American team here. Oh, look at this. So many zombies. It's starting to get a bit dicey.
Oh, getting cornered there. You got to start taking them out, because if you have a few of them hitting you, I mean, they're eating your vest durability as well as your health. So, I mean, the second your vest durability goes to 0 too, you're just one bullet away from getting taken out.
Going for the loot value here. Risky play does not pan out and almost trapped. Starting to get chunked right now. We have a problem. Is she really going to go for more loot and just take the damage? She is. She'll
lose a lot of bullets if she takes the fight with him. Like, her vest is almost at half HP from all these zombies hitting her.
We got a big time attack coming in from these zombies, and this is looking sketchy. That vest is 2/3 gone at the moment. Gotta love a heart necklace, you know, especially when you can get 2 of them.
Nothing says I love you by dropping a heart necklace for your teammate at the extract. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm talking about. You know, spread the love. Gotta spread the love. All right, so what's our situation here? We got Metro Masters with 2 left on the battlegrounds. 3 other squads with a full team. It's the Tunnel Tirade, Misty Mayhem, and Arctic Allies. All 3 of those squads are the ones in contention right now. And as we take a peek at the map, everyone is fairly separated right now. Metro Masters, as well as the Misty Mayhem squad, kind of have whole areas to themselves at this moment. And it looks like the Arctic Allies and the Tunnel Tirade are the closest to potentially fighting, but again, still not really heading in each other's direction, except for Juancho and Baton. They are right up in each other's grills, and look at this. It has kicked off. Juancho getting the first knock and just laser beams Fox 1K from range.
Yeah, one thing that's way different about the MKs in Metro versus Classics is the attachments that you put on the MKs have way higher recoil reduction. So that is why you see these players fully automatic spraying these MKs, because the recoil is almost non-existent once you put all refined attachments on it. Juancho getting eaten up by the spitting zombies.
Yeah, those are doing a little bit more damage than I think he reckoned. He was like, I'll just eat this. Oh, wait, maybe not. I'm about to die. So he takes care of those spitters. And, you know, this is what I was hoping to see from Arctic Allies. They were able to pick up a couple of elims. They did take out, You know, obviously 2 from a squad that is just ahead of them on the leaderboard, and they should be able to swap a fair bit of loot right now. And it looks like the 2 surviving members from Misty Mayhem are going to, or excuse me, I think it was Metro Masters. They are going to just leave. Or it was Tunnel Tirade. It was
I was going to say Tunnel Tirade.
So they're definitely above them on the leaderboard.
Oh, negative 946,000 Metro cash. Not looking good for Tunnel Tirade, as they definitely need to not lose any of their lead at all. Any of that spread. Going into this last match on Ode Blockade Zone, it's the least loot that we're going to see people come out with, just because of the amount of boxes. There's only like 6 or 8. No, it's 12 out in Radiation Zone in Ode Blockade Zone. So this will be the last match where we're going to see a massive spread possibility being made.
And big news, Misty Mayhem is extracted. They are out with 2.6 million cash, and you know that's a solid chunk that they needed here. And now they're hoping that one of these other squads gets wiped. We'll see if that's the case. But unfortunately, if that happens, all the loot will go to another competitor that's well within range of them. So this is very, very dicey right now for all 4 teams that are still with players alive.
Yeah, Metro Masters, they were only 4 million behind, so that puts them now at just 1.5 million behind Tunnel Tirade. If Tunnel Tirade doesn't pick it up this match and at least put something on the board to keep that spread there. Metro Masters, Aries pushing out to Radiation a little too late, a little hungry for the loot, but I don't think there's going to be any left for him there.
We're about to see some zombies.
I think they took him out as they, I think they touched it and made the zombies come out, and then they took out the zombies and then finished opening it.
We just got there a little late. I was hoping to see the horde and get them all mowed down, but here is the extract here. Dr. Chemist is out of here, and that will be 2 successfully extracting from Tunnel Tirade. And just like that, we have just 2 teams left on the map. It comes down to Arctic Allies and Metro Masters. Arctic Allies having a good game here. They're up to 2 million loot and all 4 players alive. It's a 4v2 situation right now, and they have some time left to play with, 12 minutes.
Yeah, they definitely have plenty of time to actually probably come out of this on top as the first #1 team. So Aries knows where all the loot is, that's for sure. The interesting thing about the loot boxes out in the Radiation Zone from Misty Port is they actually hide them in very, very non-suspect places. Like there's one in the water, like inside of a crate underneath the water, a container, if you will. And then there's another one that's in a train car that's flipped over on its side. So if you're not a seasoned player and you don't know where all these hidden boxes are, Aries could be out there right now getting it. Just a single gold pile would put them right almost at #1. So hopefully they didn't miss too many of those boxes. Misty Mayhem didn't miss too many.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes, and if Arctic Allies all of a sudden has that total jump way up, we'll know that they've probably found something of significant value. Got some good ammo being found here by Aries. Still trying to milk just literally every squeeze of loot off this map. A few zombies that they still have to deal with, potentially. Is it possible, Dab, to see how many teams have extracted or are still remaining in play? Does it tell you that in-game?
As a player that doesn't see what we see, no. They have no idea who's still here and who isn't.
Interesting. So, yeah, it could be a bit, you know, it's not as obvious to them when or if they need to extract. I mean, they can go off audio cues of, hey, it sounds kind of quiet, like maybe... Yeah. Timer's getting lower, not a whole lot of fighting to be heard. Maybe we're more alone, but they don't have the ability to see like we do. Oh, hey, there's a whole bunch of people that have cleared out of the lobby and we got this place to ourselves. So we'll see.
Yeah, as far as they know, it could be everybody still there. And especially in a public lobby, you really, really don't know, because then you also have players spawning in mid-match naked and stuff too. So you never know how many people are in the lobby.
Nothing like naked people spawning in mid-match.
Oh, when I say naked, I just mean no, like, level 1 armor. Not like...
Oh, I thought you meant in real life, just, you know, spawning in. It's all good. We think, you know, wires crossed, Dabs. It's okay. Ooh, yeah, it's a good little find.
We just call them nakeds. If you're not wearing level 6 armor in Metro Royale, you're technically naked. Like, level 4 and 5, like, they definitely can take some bullets, but level 6 is the creme de la creme. In the actual like public lobbies, you have people that aren't only just wearing level 6, but they'll have level 6 Fabled on. And Fabled is one step above it's like the highest tier that you can get when it comes to items. And Fabled items, guns and gear, come with 2 extra traits. And on gear, it can be things like taking less limb damage, having more overall durability. And when it comes to guns, it can just be straight up increasing the base damage of the gun, making it to where the gun shoots faster, the bullets fly faster. So, I mean, in a public lobby, if you're going up against people with Fabled gear, it can get really crazy.
Sounds like a fight I want no part of.
I mean, if you're really rich, then you don't have to worry about it. But, you know, as you can see right here, these players are demonstrating easily as a team how to get rich. The end game of Metro is rushing out to Radiation, taking all the loot, not letting anybody come and take it from you, and extracting with all the glory.
And it does look like Arctic Allies will be taking some glory here. They do not pick up enough to actually overtake that first place spot, which is a bit surprising given the situation that they have in front of them. But we'll see if they actually choose to extract right now. They still have 8 minutes to potentially hang around and loot up around the extraction point. Not sure how much loot there is to be found, if it would be anything significant, but we will keep an eye on that as we take our attention to Metro Masters right now. Just 2 members left alive in Ares and Dream, but both of them, you know, obviously know where to go, trying to get those last little bits of loot into their bags.
Yep, there's another sneaky location some people don't check up on that tower.
They've gotten back to positive, though. That's a good news, Dab. They're 12,000 cash right now instead of negatives.
That's good because they're in second place, so they really can't afford to lose any. Yeah, when there's money on the line, you know, you could be winning anywhere from $100 here. These players could be all the way up to 1,000 or so. 450 per player if you win first place versus 100 per player for winning last place. So if it was me, I would take every single last second to open up every tiny box. I wouldn't let a single box go unturned. That was a good one. That was about 150,000 that he just got out of that box.
That's
so
massive.
That's definitely going to give them at least some earnings.
They're climbing quickly compared to like Arctic Allies, right? There's only one team that can actually make a dent right now. Arctic Allies has put up about 100K around their extraction point, and Metro Masters has gone from negative all the way up to about 500,000 right now, which is impressive. And Dabs, I don't mean to correct you, but it's even more money than that for the first place squad. It's $700 per player. So we're talking, we're talking a couple of, trips to the gas station.
It's 450 per player for second. You're right.
Yeah. So big money on the line for these guys and gals tonight. I'm excited to see who ends up with the cash. At this point, I thought it was going to be a bit more cut and dry with Tunnel Tirade after that quick start. But I'm not so sure, man. We got some teams making a late push here as we head into our final game. Metro Masters,
I would love to just see one of these players find a gold pile right now. And a gold pile is worth 500,000. And if Arctic Base found a gold pile right now, they would definitely shoot up to the first on this. I would think it'd be pretty rare. Looks like they're making their way to the extract. As you can see, the green smoke off in the distance.
It's about that time. We're coming down to about 5 minutes left to go. We should see the timer hit the screen here momentarily. Whole pile of zombies they're going to clear out, and maybe they get a good drop here. We'll see. Obvious.
Launcho smelled the box. He knew it was there somewhere.
Yeah.
As you can clearly see, the difference in what's inside these boxes, outside of radiation versus inside of radiation, is a night and day difference. Like in radiation, you're opening up boxes that have anywhere from 300K to $1 million worth of loot. If you get crazy, like that could be gold piles and stuff. But outside of radiation, a decent box is only 25, 30K.
Motor oil and pocket watches, baby.
Definitely utilizing the radiation zone is what's going to win this tournament.
Absolutely. We've got the countdown on. 5 minutes are on the clock right now. 2 teams left on the battlegrounds. It's Arctic Allies sitting in second place right now for the round. 2.4 million cash in hand. And just 2 members of Metro Masters remain, but they're up to $500,000. Kind of rebounding off of a bit of a rocky start, losing 2 of their players, but closing the round strong. And you got to love that for their overall chances as they head into the final game.
Yep. I couldn't agree more. They were only, you know, 4 million behind, so at least trying to close the gap with the tunnel tie rate at all is in their best interest. Tunnel tie rate actually potentially losing some value on this match, so them losing value while Metro Masters is gaining a little. They could bring it home in the last match. They really could. You might get your wish.
I just want to see a close outcome. That's all I care about. Oh, there we go. Got some loot to be found in here. We'll see if anybody gets anything big.
Yeah, the black door on there's 2 black doors on Misty Port. You got the one in the tunnels right here that they're opening up right now. And then there was the one out in Radiation Zone. The one out in Radiation Zone has a lot more loot, but you can definitely still get better, like really decent loot out of this black door.
Absolutely. I mean, they're up to 750K. I mean, that's pretty decent, right? Like, you know, considering they were negative just a moment ago. Oh, they just found
they definitely found some gold bars.
So very, very nice find from Metro Masters. That is absolutely clutch because, again, this was like a multiple million point gap between them and the teams in front. And they've really closed it down to about 1.5 million at this point. They still have 3 minutes to try to maximize what they are pulling, but they've got to be close to heading for that exit.
Yeah, the exit's just right outside the tunnel right here for them. Only 200 meters outside the tunnel, so they got plenty of time. I know that Aries would definitely be extremely excited if he won a Metro tournament as being a Metro main when it comes to content creation. You can find Aries on YouTube, TikTok, pretty much everywhere. He puts out consistent content on Metro Royale on the regular, and that's pretty quality content. I like how animated he gets. He's a pretty cool cat.
Love that. Love the animated creators and streamers. I think that's always fun to watch. We're down to just a couple of minutes. The flares have been fired off, and we've got a pan fight going on here. The Arctic Allies are doing battle with one another. It seems they've given up on trying to find any remaining members still on the map, and as they wait for the extract here, we've got a couple, swings of the frying pan out.
Some victory swings.
Becky's got a whole chicken. No, forget the pan. It's just an actual chicken.
Looking good for the Arctic Allies, coming out with 2.4 million in earnings. They definitely needed that. They're one of the teams that's up in the topper echelon of the overall leaderboard right now. The second, third, and fourth place are only a 1.5 million point spread, so they definitely just kind of closed that gap. But they actually might be second after this.
I'm excited to see it. We'll catch our scores here in just a moment, but man, what an exciting round. Again, our second map of Zombie Uprising for the evening. We saw teams do battle once again, taking it to each other early. That West Coast spawn seems to be just an absolute deadly one on Misty Port. And it just is really, really sucking people into those early battles. I'm looking at Zombie Zenith once again. They were a victim of that spawn where everybody just seemed to be looking at them. They're having to fight early, but fortunately for Arctic Allies, they spawned on the other side this time, and it led to a 2 million loot round. So they didn't get the win like I predicted, but they were up there on top. And Dab, I gotta say that, the top 4 teams essentially that were, in the lobby at this point, 3 of those 4 closed the gap on the first place team. So we're gonna have a real horse race here as we head into our final round.
Yeah, it's going to be nice to see that the last match is going to be a make it or break it for a lot of teams here, and not just one team out and so far in the lead that it's not possible. This is going to be a very interesting last match. One of my highlights for this match was definitely getting to see Arctic Allies make, I think this was the best match that Arctic Allies has had. They had good fights, they had good loot, and Yamna Gaming definitely leading her team to victory.
HH24 and the Metro Masters have got to regret that one. They got caught on the third party right there. They were split and just too far away from one another to help. And unfortunately, it not only did they get caught off guard, but it took their advantage away, because remember, they were collapsing on Zombie Zenith at that point, and they could have basically got another squad wipe of an unexpected squad that was also under pressure, and it just really took them from a positive situation all the way down to survival. Thankfully, though, given the, I mean, look at, they're a million in the hole right now. They were able to go back to 1 million positive, which is a massive swing with just 2 players on the map. So you got to tip your cap to the Metro Masters.
Yeah, Aries is a really good leader there. He definitely made the call to back out of that and just prioritize loot for the rest of it. And
you called that early on, and that was the move.
Finding a black password to get in that black door was huge for them.
It really was. I mean, they walked into that. They had about 400,000 cash. And once they came out of that room, they were over 1 million. And, that's just a massive clutch thing to get when you're scrounging for every bit of loot possible. The fact that they were able to make it to that, the black password room, that's huge. I mean, instead of just hanging around on the outskirts. Let's check the leaderboards, though, after the 4th game and see how things shaped up. Misty Mayhem, a beautiful round from them. They'll extract with 4.8 million in loot, which is great. Arctic Allies sitting with 2.6. Metro Masters with 2.5. Tunnel Tirade with 1.1 million. Zombie Zenith and Blockade Brigade, again, struggling to put numbers on the board. Blockade Brigade having a real rough go of it. And I don't even know that it's their fault. They've been in that nasty spawn point every single time, and they just haven't been able to get the fights to go their way.
I mean, you can either take the fight or you can go... I mean, there is always the chance that you just go straight through radiation. When you spawn in the west, the northern western spawn can run to radiation, or, I mean, you can just take the fight. So it's really up to the players. They don't have to take the fight, but they seem to be choosing to.
Here is the overall standings, and let's see how close it is. And wow, we have ourselves a game. It looks like the Blockade Brigade and Zombie Zenith are out of the picture at this point, going into our 5th game. But good news for the 2nd through 4th place teams is they are in it. They have a great possibility to come back and win. Tunnel Tirade, though, still sitting in the driver's seat. 17 elims right now. That seems to be a big factor. They're the ones, pushing the fights and getting these squads knocked out and ultimately taking their loot. Dabs, how do you interpret this overall leaderboard?
Tunnel Tirade sitting with 1.7 million in just eliminations alone is crazy. Imagine if they didn't get as many elims, Misty Mayhem would be right there behind them. Look at the loot. They've got more loot in 2nd place than 1st place does. It's literally the elims that are separating them right now. Now, going into Old Blockade Zone, it's still anybody's game from 1 through 4th. If you go out to Radiation, as well as get everything outside of Radiation, any players from the team 1 through 4 could definitely come out on top here.
Well, we're going to see if they do, but before our 5th and final game, we're going to load that lobby, take a quick break. We'll be back to you with our final game of Metro Royale action coming up shortly. Don't go anywhere.
Disaster has struck again in the form of a zombie uprising. Not a corner of this town has been spread. They're figuring things out, trying to survive. But night has fallen, and the danger has only just begun.
Welcome to Metro Royale Rookie Manual. The old blockade zone was formerly a military-restricted area, but now 2 evil forces divide the land. If frontline confrontation could be considered as a new player's tutorial, then old blockade zone would be their first real adventure into the underground. Old blockade zone is more abundant in supplies than frontline confrontation. However, accessing the old blockade zone's advanced mode also has a higher loadout requirement. Old Blockade Zone is a dense urban area with tightly packed buildings. While collecting supplies, it's common to encounter other players, so don't let down your guard while exploring. Of course, you can also move around via the underground routes. Although Old Blockade Zone only has 1 subway line, it's vast and complex, connecting multiple areas of the underground. Of those areas, the deserted base is a dark zone. Dark zones have lots of supplies, but are also shrouded in danger. Night vision equipment is a must. Continue following the subway line to reach the radiation zone. The radiation zone has the best rewards, but also the most risk. It contains valuable supplies, but is full of radiation and danger. When entering, be ready to face radiation and enemies. Besides the fast procurement of supplies in the radiation zone, Old Blockade Zone also has 3 password-locked doors, blocking you from some high-value sellable items. They're located in the barracks, snake pit, and the underground garage. Password letters of the corresponding color must be used to open the door and obtain the supplies. To obtain better supplies and equipment, you will need to challenge and eliminate bosses. Apart from the 2 permanent bosses marked on the map, there are also a few points that randomly spawn invasion bosses that provide more opportunities to obtain equipment. That's all for this intro to the Old Blockade Zone map. Go explore it yourself. Version 3.3 brings tons of new updates to Metro Royale. Let's check them out together. To start off, we added 2 shotgun faction weapons. They are the DBS and S12K. With their addition, you have more faction weapon choices than ever. Additionally, we've improved the damage dealt by all faction weapons, including the Cobras and Steel Front weapons. Their damage multiplier has increased from 15% to 25%. That should make faction weapons a fantastic choice in the new version. What's more, we've added a new special trait modification system. In this system, you can forge or modify fabled equipment traits to give them new bonus special traits or change existing ones. These traits greatly increase your effectiveness against bandits and PvE enemies. Keep in mind that both forging and modifying traits require schematics, which only appear in Zombie Uprising mode. I bet you're super excited to try out all these new weapon updates for yourself. Make sure to do so in the new version. If you have any feedback, let us know in the comments. We've added the following new weapons and items to give you a hand against these pesky zombies. First, we have the M134. This new weapon has a large ammo capacity and high rate of fire. Its immense firepower is sure to help you fight your way out of a horde of zombies. However, firing the M134 takes some time to start up, so you need to get your timing right. Up next is the flamethrower. Fire has always been effective against zombies. This weapon's strong frontal firepower can help you wipe out entire waves of them. The flamethrower may be powerful, but its short range makes it more suitable for close-range combat. After using Stealth Serum, you can temporarily avoid detection from zombies. It's an effective evasion method. But remember, if you initiate an attack against a zombie, it will attack back. Lure grenades will attract zombies after being thrown before exploding and dealing damage. It's a great way to disperse zombie swarms. There are special supply crates scattered around the map. Open them to get more supplies, but beware of the zombies that'll come swarming. What's more, you'll obtain more supplies at night than during the day.
You guys have waited long enough. The time has come for our 5th and final game of the Metro Uprising PUBG Mobile VIP Showmatch. We've got 4 teams in contention right now to take home their share of a $7,500 prize pool that is on the line here this evening. It's the Tunnel Tirade squad that is out front right now, led by Baton, their esports pro. And it is time to hop into the match to see if they can hold on to that lead. It all comes down to this. Dab, I gotta get your prediction, man. Who's gonna take the cake?
Spawn's super close together, but I'm gonna go ahead and have to say that Metro Masters is gonna definitely live up to their name this match.
They're gonna master the Metro. We'll see. I'm liking the likes of Misty Mayhem on this one. Again, this is going to be really, really close, I feel like. But, you know, maybe it is too much of a lead right now for the Tunnel Tirade. I think they have to play pretty cautiously right now. But as the match has just started, it doesn't look like that's the case for anybody. I'm seeing 6 teams at the exact same point on the map, all of them heading in the same direction. We're about to have a serious, serious collision. And I have no idea who's going to make it out on top.
The map can be a little bit misleading. Metro Masters spawned at the closest point to radiation, so they'll probably be the team that's out there first. They spawned at the bridge spawn that's right across from the what they call the fort. So, I mean, right at the fort, you just get down to radiation pretty quick.
Amazing. Yeah, I mean, this map is great. I mean, they're really stepping on top of each other right now. I wouldn't even mind staying here for a minute to watch if any of these guys are going. I mean, that is like all of the teams more or less in one spot right now. And you can see on the left, Fate trying to approach, looks like the Blockade Squad into it again. Blockade Brigade has been early fighting every single game. Will this be the match where they actually come out on top? We'll have to wait and see here, but Fate and the Zombie Zenith, again, another team that has fought early almost every single game. Well, neither team is changing their MO at this point. They're gonna go out and they're either gonna come back on their shield or not. We'll see.
Yeah, the map can be a little bit misleading. Metro Royale just released custom rooms this last update. There's definitely some things that need to be ironed out. But Metro Masters looking like they haven't quite crossed the bridge yet. They're sitting on the very edge of the map over by, I guess, the other bridge spawn is what we would call it. These spawns don't really have names, but they're going to start making their way over to Fort Rozok.
Classic PUBG name right there.
So the thing about Old Blockade Zone is it's actually a modified version of Erangel. So you'll notice that this is there would normally be a big house compound right here. This is Rozok that they're actually walking through right now. But it's just a modified version of it.
That is interesting.
Yep, you can see
the resemblance for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see the Skull Hill over there. This is the top of the skull. Dr. Chemist is fighting the shotgun boss. So I'd be careful with that guy.
This man could pack a punch for sure. This is the map that, for me, is the most familiar for Metro, and all these players playing the OG, how it all started, essentially, here, as they try to get into the money. Again, Dab, $700 a player for a first place finish, $450 a player for a second place finish, $275 for third place, $200 per player per fourth. And, you know, if you at least played tonight, you're getting at least $100 just for showing up. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, this brings me all the way back to Chapter 1. I've been number one in the world 6 times. Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, Chapter 4, Chapter 5, and Chapter 6. And I kind of retired after that. Because you spend several hours, like 18 hours sitting in front of an iPad, grinding the leaderboard, and then sleep, a little bit of sleep. And I just, you know, after doing that for 6 seasons, I thought it was finally time to let somebody else take the reins. Kind of made my mark on the community.
You proved you could do it. You proved you could do it. I mean, 6 seasons in a row, world #1. That's pretty solid, my friend.
We're seeing a fight here. You got T-Mags and the Zenith. The zombie Zenith.
Finally gonna get the jump on somebody.
I mean, it's really hard to push down those stairs like that.
There's 3 squads here, though. You see Valak kind of hiding nearby.
I do see Valak over in the corner now. I did not see him at first. Yep.
So I don't know. I mean, it's just, again, Misty Mayhem eliminated except for Valak. So it's all up to him at this point. We've got 3 teams right now that are still kind of, I guess, in the running. And Tunnel Tirade is the one that has jumped out to 1 million loot already. This is not what these other squads wanted to see. Juancho taken down with the grenade. Tunnel Tirade is not letting anybody escape, essentially, right now. But it does look like Zombie Zenith. Is that true? Is that their final survival? It's Fate!
Yep, Fate from Zombie Zenith
is on fire.
Yeah, it's really hard to push down this when there's a team sitting on the platform. The only way to successfully take this push now is for him to get a knock like he has, and then to go back up to the top and go to the side entrance. There's actually a little entrance down the tracks a little bit. He could come up behind all of them. Valak sitting there like a ninja. absolutely just like the trigger discipline and not taking the fight right now is crazy. I would have at least knocked 2 of these people. Like the fact that he's just sitting there and waiting for the perfect moment. I love it.
Absolutely. I mean, he's done this now a few times, and the people just haven't run his way, right? He's going to find some folks that are isolated if they head that direction, and of course they don't. Nobody goes that way. He's gonna survive, but I don't know if this is what he actually wanted, right? Because now all of the loot that's in front of him is going to be cleared out. It's going to go to the Arctic allies, which fine and good, I guess, but Valak has to make plays here. He's got to wipe. He's got to take all the loot. And, you know, him and Fate both are, you know, by themselves, more or less. And they're big chilling right now. We'll see if either of them hear each other. I think Valak may have, I don't know if this is in footstep range or not. I think it is. But we'll see if he stays quiet down there.
I'm being like 2 million off of having first place. They really can't let Tunnel Tirade get that big of a lead. So Valak sitting right here and it being the last match, I mean, honestly, he needs to go all out right now.
Tunnel Tirade, though, has dropped 2 members and they've lost a couple million loot. So they're down to negative 1.2 million at this point. Arctic Allies and Metro Masters are sitting in a good spot, and Blockade Brigade, for the first time today, maybe too little too late, but for the first time today, they've won some fights and they're sitting on top of the leaderboard right now, early on here in Game 5.
I mean, at this point, I think Valak is waiting for Santa Claus to show up for Christmas. He definitely should be making some moves here. Being the last match. Dr. Chemist. So it looks like they, I guess, weren't out. Or maybe 2 of them went to radiation, but it looks like Tura are kind of looting the edges of the map.
Interesting strategy for sure. I mean, Valak's at the point where if he's going to chill, he almost has to wipe a squad. Because he's not looting anymore. You know what I mean? Like the loot is also not going into his bag, but it is at the same time going into everyone else's. So, you know, that's going to be tough. And Arctic Ally is starting to make jumps up the leaderboard here as well. They take over first place for the match.
Oh, I think this is the first time we're seeing Yamna out in the radiation zone. And see, these are the dogs I was talking about. The OG dogs. There is 4 boxes on this side, 4 boxes on the other side, and then 4 boxes up at the top.
Will she get lucky, though, is the question. We'll see what's in these. No squad yet has been full.
Gold bar.
Nice.
2 walkie-talkies or 2 detectors. That's pretty good.
Solid crate for sure. Arctic Allies cruising over 1 million loot at the moment. Tablets here. They're
another solid 130K.
Yamna crushing the loot right now for her squad. I don't know if it's going to be enough, but Arctic Allies are going to try for it. They're going to make the push.
They got 6 boxes in this building, so there's the potential to have a couple million here. You got 2 back here in the corner. Now that monkey, the monkey will mess you up.
That's good. Good maneuver in there by Juancho. He was able to get a lot of loot. They're up to 1.4 million now. They've doubled up second place. And they're not done yet, but
a completely dead vest too. And that's something you got to look out for in Metro. When your vest health gets to 0, you just basically have to extract because you're 1 bullet away.
Exactly. It's not like you can go find another level 6. Ooh, massive crate from them.
Huge.
Million loot in that one. He is cruising now. They've got to be thinking with the vest where they are at. But again, it's all or nothing here. So maybe you risk it. I don't know, Dab. I don't know what the play is, but they're off to a fantastic start.
With money on the line, I would risk it no matter what.
Looks like Kong, man.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're just pumping bullets into the monkey so that they can do all the looting. And they're losing a lot of value in the bullets that they're holding on to at the moment. Now, if they would have sent just 1 player up here that knew what they were doing, you can actually loot this entire place without triggering the monkeys if you know what you're doing. little, you know, if you don't make them mad and you creep around, you can loot the boxes without triggering them.
That's good information. You should have let them know about this beforehand, because
yeah, I should have let them know in the talent call, but I'd rather see the monkeys hit them.
Mad. Yeah, right? Just pounding their chest, clawing them up. But Arctic Allies, man, 3
I actually made a video about it.
Now.
Like, I made a video about it like 3 years ago, how to do it. So it's their fault they didn't watch my videos, you know? So, yeah.
Ooh, Metro Masters just dropped a bunch. Or no, it was Blockade Brigade that looks like they lost a player.
Now, interesting, we see Metro Masters sitting right here holding this area because unlike the other maps that have radiation zones, Old Blockade Zone only has one way in and one way out, and it's right here in this little pinch point. So no matter what, Arctic Allies is going to have to fight Metro Masters to get their loot out of here.
This is a really interesting and meaningful blockade that has been set up. And it's not even by the Blockade Brigade. It's the Metro Masters who have set that up at the end of the tunnel. Arctic Allies have a lot of loot, and ultimately this could swing the entire match, right?
Yep.
3 million plus loot coming out. You can see they're almost up to 3.1 now.
If
And
Metro Masters wins
could
this
take
fight,
it all.
it could secure them the dub. The first place dub. If they can win the fight versus Arctic Allies jumping up another 400k, that's huge.
This is absolutely massive. You can see the map overview right now. A bunch of teams kind of hanging out together. Zombie Zenith, once again, kind of in trouble. Metro Masters right around where they're at. And a good spread from Blockade Brigade, but unfortunately, they've got a lot more ground to make up than some of these other teams.
Arctic Allies coming up on another 200k. They are definitely the winning ticket. Whoever takes out the Arctic Allies is probably going to win this right now. Unless if the Arctic Allies themselves just leave, then they don't have to worry about it. But there is no possible way they can leave without having to take a fight with the Metro Masters. And then, I mean, you've got 4 teams or 2 teams that have 1 player, 1 team that has 2 players, and then the Blockade Brigade already lost a player there. So, I mean, Metro Masters and Arctic Allies are definitely have the highest percentage of coming out here successful with having full teams. So I think we might see every other team besides these 2 going negative this match.
It's going to be tough for sure. They make their way through the radiation zone. Again, I liked Arctic Allies here from the beginning in this one. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Obviously, we'll have to wait for the end of the game leaderboards to calculate everything fully. But it is... They've got a big lead right now, and really they've got to kind of work their way through other squads to get to the finish line. Tunnel Tirade, had a pretty commanding lead, but obviously losing 2 players and a lot of loot to start this one off is not how they wanted to do things. You can see Dr. Chemist here still alive, and Neptura still alive from the Tunnel Tirade. So it's all down to them, but unfortunately, Baton is gone, and that's their esports pro captain. That's a big loss for the Tunnel Tirade, so they don't even have their best gun on the map right now as well to help them get to this finish line.
Yeah, and doing the whole looting the edge of the map strategy, it might not be enough to hold their lead. So we'll have to see on that overall leaderboard here in a few minutes.
We're halfway through right now, 15 minutes to go in our final game of the Metro Uprising VIP Showmatch. All comes down to this, $7,500 US on the line. These squads will all be splitting up that prize money, but where they finish on the leaderboard dictates how much of that prize pool they will walk away with tonight. Turn our attention over to Metro Masters, who are still holding the tunnel, holding this corner, the one choke point that they know that Arctic Allies has to work through in order to extract with all of their loot, as it nears 4 million at this point. It all comes down to this particular spot, but will they have the patience to stay and hold?
I mean, they know that since the carts are gone, they know there's got to be somebody out there.
The carts are working their way back. Here it comes. We are just moments away from Carnage, and this is where the event winner will likely shake out. We'll see how this goes, but teams are gearing up. The footsteps are there. The shots are fired, and Wancho takes significant damage, but the first knock comes in favor of Arctic Allies. And they trade. Dab, this is insane. Nades are out. Who do you got winning this one? Uh-oh, never mind. Stupid question.
Oh, man.
Stupid question.
If Yamna can get out some smokes, there's a possibility.
Molotov's got to be crucial here.
Yeah, you gotta. Oh, she doesn't have any.
Uh-oh, it's over.
It's all over.
It's over.
Look at all the lethals.
Expertly set trap here by the Metro Masters. They fully wiped the Arctic Ally. Nope, Yamna's still up. There is a hope, but all of that loot is gone. You can see it's 4 million loot swing. That's going to go in favor of Metro Masters. And now with 4 members alive and the nearest to the exit, they can take that loot and potentially extract.
Unfortunately, even if Yamna gets the entire squad wipe, there will not be enough room in her backpack to carry all that loot out.
That's a good point, but there are numerous gold bars and like heavy, loot items. So she'll be able to get a lot of value, but certainly not the full amount that, a full squad could carry with them. Unfortunate break there for Arctic Allies. I thought they were going to do it, but just got absolutely shredded all at the same time. So just beautiful coordination from Metro Masters there.
And it seemed like they were anticipating it too, but just didn't execute the plan that well. It just didn't go to the way they wanted it to, for sure. You see Ares over here playing the Hoover vacuum role on the team, sucking it all up.
It's the best role to play in this mode.
Oh yeah, I love being the guy with all the loot.
It's like, you guys shoot everybody, I'm just gonna go pick up some gold bars. Oh, clutch shots here. Yamna's actually connecting with a fair bit here. Has 1 knock, several other players weak, but really needs to get another one right now. And actually might. This is pretty crazy pressure that she is putting out all by herself onto the squad. Ares trying to smoke off this. Really, she's got to go on the offensive right now with the knock and with this damage that's being done. She had so many hit markers. Hopefully there's a grenade that she's got somewhere. I don't know if she'll have it within her, though, to actually make this push. That would be a real hero's tale if she's able to pull this off.
Yeah, I think she already used her mollies. I think she only has nades and smokes left.
Now's the time, though, while those smokes are up, because once that happens, once those clear, which
oh no,
seems like she's on the run and getting shot, and it is curtains. Arctic Allies eliminated and will lose value. Unfortunate for them, but Metro Masters in full control of this lobby. But it's not over yet. The team they are chasing, the Tunnel Tirade, still alive and still on the map with 2 members alive.
Man, I really wanted to see Yamna actually win that squad wipe. Oh, I haven't yelled squad wipe in a couple of days, and I thought I was about to right there.
She had a great effort. I mean, again, that's twice today we've seen teams like really down to their last leg. We saw earlier with T-Mags, and we saw just now with Yamna. And, man, close but no cigar, right? Like, good effort, got a knock, got a lot of damage put out, but just couldn't quite get that clutch finish and get over the edge to get that squad wipe.
I wonder if the 12-minute boss is still alive. On Old Blockade Zone, there is a boss that spawns in at the 19-minute mark and the 12-minute mark. And it could be at any random location on the entire map. So I think maybe hopefully Tunnel Tirade takes it out and at least doesn't come out negative here. They have to, if they can keep their lead, they'll be all right. But I don't think they're gonna come out with any extra loot here.
Absolutely. I don't know if Metro Masters is looted yet or what, but it didn't seem like they picked up the full value of what the other squad was carrying. Because, again, they were at 3.7 million. And that was just what the other team had.
Yeah, there's definitely some loot in people's lockboxes.
For sure. You gotta think that those gold bars are locked away where people can't get them.
Yeah, that's one of the nicest things about Metro is you can at least, if you're trying to make some money, you can at least lockbox a couple of items in case you get eliminated. You're not coming out completely poor. So
definitely want to try to avoid that. We take a peep at the map here. Just a few teams remaining. And again, team in control is the Metro Masters on the northern part of that Fort Rosshawk water break. And they are in control, but they've got to still make it to the finish line. I mean, it's not crazy to think. I mean, Blockade Brigade had a good start to this map. They've got a bit of momentum on their side at this point. They got Chiffon. They got Houston King. I mean, some good players over there that can ultimately throw down some lead and spoil the coming home party of Metro Masters here. Another thing to consider, though, Dab, Metro Masters has 7 elims so far, so that's another 700 grand to add to their total.
Oh, I haven't even been paying attention to the elims this whole time. I mean, Tunnel Tirade has a lot of elims under their belt too, so they definitely have some making up to do in the elims department. Overall, Metro Masters is sitting on 10 eliminations. So if they extract, I mean, they're going to be tied with eliminations for Tunnel Tirade overall, and then it will just come down to who looted the most.
Absolutely. Trying to get to the finish line here. Aries leading the squad. I feel like they've had a pretty consistent showing today. Metro Masters has been a solid squad all day long. Tunnel Tirade really has been operating off the strength of their first 2 maps. Came out and absolutely crushed, and you know, they put up 12 million points in 2 maps, and they've just been chilling ever since, hoping that was enough, hoping that they can hold on, and it looks like that's kind of the move here in map 5 as well. Again, sitting negative 800k right now, losing 2 members early on, and again, Blockade Brigade has 3 members alive, Metro Masters has 4, so it's a definite uphill battle for Tunnel Tirade, but you know, they're not out of contention here by any means, because they had quite a bit of padding at the start of this match.
Yeah, I mean, they came into this match super chillaxed. Like, they weren't really too worried about it. As you can see, Dr. Chemist has been kind of looting up the edge of the map for the last 14 minutes, so he knew that he didn't really have to risk too much and still have him and Neptura to still have a pretty good shot at least holding their gap and winning this.
You think they just camp this here?
They could. There should only be one other squad that has this extract, but that squad might be one of the squads eliminated. So, I mean, if they want to hold it and just try to, even if to chance that squad might come, then
I probably would. You know what I mean? Like, what's to lose at this point? Either kill time and, you know, extract with a couple seconds remaining or whatever. But I feel like
stop another team from extracting with their loot, even if you hold them off.
Exactly. I feel like, you know, at this point, they've got,
it looks like,
you know,
their plan.
not a lot to lose. We'll see. Hopefully this doesn't bite them, because obviously they need to get out, but they don't have a ton of loot, honestly. I don't know.
If I remember correctly, the other team that spawned with them was Misty Mayhem. And when I mean with them, just in the same area of the map. So you typically only have one other team in the match with you that shares the same extract as you. So I'm pretty sure the team that shares their extract has already been eliminated, but they don't know that.
Yeah, if that is the case, they will not be able to convert anything at this extract point, which will be unfortunate. But hey, thought that counts, right? Chiffon here from Blockade Brigade finally has a bit of momentum going. Unfortunately for them, it is Game 5, the final game of the night. And I don't know that this will be enough to get them to the leaderboard where they want to be, but they will gain for every point, you know, every placement point that they go up on that rank board. That's more money. So, I mean, you know, this is worth still putting in the effort, because you could shoot from $100 a player up to $200 a player and double that prize money pretty easily.
Yeah, just about every single placement people go up or down. It could be an extra 150 or losing an extra 150, depending on. So if they even at least just go up one slot, that's an extra $150 per player.
Yeah, one player knocked here. I didn't see how it happened. The Angry Hoser has been knocked. It looks like maybe a
we didn't get to see it, but I'm gonna go ahead and guess that that shotgun boss, or not boss, but the shotgun bandit they were just fighting right there that has the blue outfit on, it'll cook a nade and throw a cooked nade at you, and will definitely knock you pretty easily.
Chiffon here has found out that these bandits are no joke.
They really aren't.
It's quite funny to see an esports pro get knocked by a bandit just out in the middle of the field. kind of stop paying it. You know, you're like, what's it gonna do, right? You kind of have that normal PUBG mentality. You know, PUBG Mobile, like if you're looking at a traditional map, it's just like, oh, you know, bandit behind me, whatever. Well, you might want to pay attention in
Metro Royale, they really wanted to put out something that was unique and different, and definitely something that players took seriously. And they did not stop at any stop to make that happen. As you can see, the bosses, the bandits, even the monsters that they put on the map, you can't just take them the threat lightly. You have to eliminate them, and you have to take them seriously.
I mean, they're throwing smokes, for goodness sakes. What in the world?
They throw smokes, mollies, nades. They peek corners. They jump. They do all sorts of stuff.
Absolutely insane. Well, we have thinned out the lobby even more. Blockade Brigade has had one member extract at this point, the first one of the lobby to get out successfully. So they will not full wipe it at a minimum. They've locked in somebody getting out of here, so that's good. Metro Masters, though, still all 4 players left alive. Looks like they might be doing some loot swapping at the moment. Hard to say. Going up and down at the moment. Probably just some fire. I don't know. We'll see where they end up. But camping that endpoint, you can see Dr. Chemist and Neptura having that thought. But like you said, if they're waiting for Misty Mayhem, they're going to be waiting for a while.
They're going to be waiting for the next tournament at this point.
Exactly.
Which, with custom rooms being a thing, you probably will see a lot of content creators running their own little community tournaments here and there. I know next week I'll be hosting a $100 tournament on my own YouTube channel. And I'm going to be starting a content creator esports league soon for all of the content creators that have, not huge followings, anything above like 500 subs. I'll be making social posts and stuff about it soon. But the custom rooms being made for Metro finally is bringing so much more to the community, so much more value. And it's really invigorating the whole community again to love Metro and get back in the game.
Love the community initiatives for sure, and happy that you're doing those. I think that's super cool. Hopefully this catches on and more people are playing it. But tonight, I'm just hoping that I want to see like a $5 difference in like the winner and second place.
Imagine if it was just one little heart necklace you didn't pick up.
Right? When you left for your teammate that they just scorned you and said, no, I'm not picking that up. And it ended up being the difference. I mean, honestly, I think it's really close right now. Metro Masters have made a big push this game. They're up to 3.7 million. That's
Aries looks so happy.
Fair bit more. Yeah, look at them. They're emoting, doing the whole... I mean, look at these guys. They're having a whole conversation right now.
90 seconds. They do have to start making their way to extract. Imagine they get taken out by the blue zone because they were sitting here at the boss location emoting.
Could you imagine?
Oh, I think they shot a flare.
Oh man, that would be
There's
hilarious.
There's no way they're going 850 meters in the next 76 seconds.
Maybe they'll go 900 though.
They definitely have to have had a flare in play.
Well, let's hope, because this would be a tragic way to end things here for the Metro Masters, closing in on 4 million loot value for the round, and obviously we'll total up all of the elims, which will stack even further on top of this total. Here is the extract, and they will be getting out of here now. Absolutely clutch performance, and ultimately, to me, Dabs, this came down to the strategy to hold the tunnel. One choke point, one way in, one way out. Inevitably, when somebody's having a big game, if you're going to park yourself in that area, you're going to force the action, and you're going to get the jump on them, right? Like, you're the one with the element of surprise. You're the one that gets to fire the initial shots. Beautifully done from them, and I felt like it was an extremely clutch performance to wrap things up.
Yeah, in old blockade zone, you definitely have to be looking out for those ambushes when you're trying to leave with the loot, because there's only one way out of that radiation zone. So it was definitely nice to see a forced fight that, the Arctic Allies wasn't about to walk away from.
No, they got close. Yamna tried to, scurry her way down, but unfortunately caught a few bullets. Something jumped up and bit her, and just like that, she's out of there. I thought she was going to be able to escape, put up a great fight in the tunnels. But man, looking forward to seeing the recap of that final game, because we had some great moments there for sure. And obviously, we'll be crunching some totals on the leaderboards here behind the scenes to bring you, hopefully, the closest Metro Royale tournament finish ever. I have no idea of what the record is for that, but I feel like this is going to be a nail biter. So let's take a peek at the action for our fifth and final game of the night. This is Metro Uprising, our PUBG Mobile VIP show match, and it was led by the Tunnel Tirade early, getting some good elims here on the bosses, on the bandits, and we saw a good Blockade Brigade fight as well early on. But this one here in the at the bottom of the escalator, this was tough, man. And Valak again parked himself here and just didn't get the opportunity to do work. What the heck is happening?
Yeah, that platform is dark. It's hard to see down there, and if you're already holding the platform, it's impossible to let anybody push down the stairs. They have to make themselves so vulnerable that it's just there's no way you can lose that fight.
That's so much discipline from Valak there to not fire his weapon. I mean, like, Becky was running around right in front of him, and that right there, Becky going down, Taf Garcia, Juancho, all being eliminated, making it up to poor Yamna here. You can see on the other side, Fake Dream and Angry Hoser were out of the fight when all three of these players went down, so it was a beautiful trade, and I don't know how Yamna survived that and made it out. 3 grenades landing at her feet. Somehow able to scurry off, and just like that, not able to make it away. Ares connects for the elim, and Metro Masters secures control in the final game of the day. Will it be enough though, Dab? We've got just a few more seconds of replay to where we see the scores and how things tallied out for our 5th game. But here it is, Metro Masters emoting their way to victory in a clutch Game 5 performance. And just like that, a massive, massive performance here. Again, it's a nearly 4 million point gain on the Tunnel Tirade. I'm not sure if that's enough, but holy cow, that is going to be a massive performance here in our final game. Dab, what are your thoughts on the scores here?
I honestly didn't think that Metro Masters was gonna pull it through, because I'm not really that. I have no idea if Ares ever even really played OBZ that much, but I'm glad to see that they pulled through and got a whole bunch of loot there. I know that they were in 2nd place the last time we seen the overall, so hopefully, you know, they close that gap and win.
All right, well, I don't think we need to wait any longer. We have the scores from Game 5. We know the scores up to that point, so let's see our totals. Our champion for the VIP show match, Metro Uprising, is indeed the Metro Masters. They did enough in our 5th and final game to take the lead, and for the first time all day, they will be sitting in the 1st place spot, and it's the only time you want to be there, Dab. Look at that. They edge it out by about 1 million total loot value, and it came down to that fight in the tunnels.
Yep, it came down to the loot. As you can see, Tunnel Tirade and Metro Masters did have the exact same amount of elims, but it just came out that, you know, they were just overall the better looters.
Absolutely. You got to tip your cap if you're Metro Master to the Arctic Allies. They were the ones that went and fished out all of those gold bars and kindly passed them over to the Metro Masters, ultimately putting them over the top on loot at the end of that one. Tunnel Tirade had an amazing start to tonight's events. The first 2 games, again, putting up massive scores, hitting 12 million loot value after just 2 games, but only 1.8 million total over the final 3 games. So that's a bit rough for them on the finish. But here is the way the prize pools shake out. Metro Masters will take away $2,800, so $700 going to each player tonight. Not bad for an evening of PUBG Mobile. Everyone walking away with at least $100 here, Dab.
That's amazing to see. And somebody, you know, somebody being crowned the Metro Masters is the Metro Masters. How crazy is that? The Metro Masters are the Masters.
I guess we named the teams appropriately, right? So ultimately, got to tip the cap. Metro Masters, congratulations on the performance tonight. Dab, tell us, what were your final thoughts on the evening?
I absolutely loved to see the end game of Metro Royale being put on the world stage. We've had some events in the past where, you know, playing with the cards that were dealt with, there wasn't the ability to have several teams in the same lobby all pushing for the same agenda. So finally getting to see Metro Royale in all of its glory was amazing tonight. I'm really proud of Ares for coming through and just absolutely shutting it down for his team, leading him to victory. I also want to tip my hat to Dr. Chemist. He definitely helped his team. For most of it, they kind of, you know, they fell a little bit short, but it was really nice to see the end game of Metro.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, the ability to have custom rooms for the community, for everyone, like you said, to be having the same agenda, for the same purpose, the same goal, same mission going into a match. That's something that hasn't always been the case for Metro Royale, and now with custom rooms, it is the case. You're going to see a lot more community involvement, a lot more tournaments, and obviously in 2025, we've got official esports coming, so you're going to see continued improvements, I feel, to this mode. So excited to see it, and this was a great first glance at this event this evening with the Metro Uprising. So without further ado, that is going to wrap up our show. Dab, thank you so much for joining me. And also, guys, if you have not downloaded PUBG Mobile and joined the Battlegrounds, definitely go do that. The links for the game are in the description. You can download it for free at app stores everywhere. And then obviously follow on social media as well to get information on events like this one. You can sign up as a community member oftentimes and even have a shot at some glorious prize pools and in-game items. Follow PUBG Mobile on social media everywhere at PUBG Mobile. For me, I've been Powerbang this evening, your host, and I got a big shout out to PUBG Mobile for having us for this event, and thank you to DabPlays for teaming up with me to broadcast this. Thanks so much to all the players, the teams, and all of you for watching. Until next time, it's Powerbang signing out. I'll see you guys on the Battlegrounds.